Well, hello, hello, hello. So today I am using this to cover the book. And what this is was a really, really pretty I think it's a cabinet lining wallpaper that you can line your cabinets with in your kitchen or whatever. So drawer liners. But I'm going to use it as a book cover. And I was going to edge it. I started cutting it. And I was going to edge it with that, the scissors you get. It's got them really cool ways of cutting. But it didn't quite work out. Because, unfortunately, my scissors cut a little too dull. Okay, get a piece off. Because if you notice on the edge of the wallpaper, it has like that design. I was going to do that first, and I thought it didn't work. So we shall see how this turns out. This is the type of wallpaper I like to get, or paper liner, because it's a peel and stick. I don't like the kind of wallpaper that you have to glue. This was messy to cut. My scissors were horrible. Move this aside. I had these rigid scissors. It's got the little ripples. Okay. So now we got to do is straighten it out and make it look good. So I didn't want it to cover the whole entire cover. I want it to be more like in the center with an outline. And you got to make sure you get your ripples in there too. So let's see here. I'm just going to straighten it up some. Because we know I'm not the best cutter in the world when it comes to being straight. But I'm going to try. Just to straighten off some of the rough edges that pair of scissors kind of left. It chopped it. So we have that. Let's cut off a piece of this. I love these black and white flowers. But I had won a $10 gift card off of another channel for the Dollar Tree, and I thought, I'm going to use it. So this is one of the items I bought. And because it's a junk journal, it doesn't have to be perfect. So we'll lay it here. And cut a little more for this side. And let's see how this looks. A little bit more over this side. Keep flipping it around. Okay. And say it back out again. See how this looks. I think I will have. This book. Okay. Go close. This is what will show in the front. Maybe like this. Or, yeah, I like that. So that is how it will be. Okie dokie. Let's see if I can get this. Started. There we go. So you get this started here. And then what I'll do is not that. This is the fun part. Get it lay exactly how I want it. Hold on. Because I don't want any wrinkles. So we laid here. And then flip it over. I'm doing this backwards because I'm a lefty, of course. And then as I go across the book, I'm going to flatten it. And I got to make sure to hit the creases. With my fingernail. And then come over and hit the crease again. Okay, you're going downhill now. Hold on. For some reason. Let's do it this way. Because I want it up on the spine. Might be my cutting. It looked downhill. Let's try this again. Now that I got the layout. One thing nice about this paper is it lifts up pretty easy. try this again. Make sure there's no creases. Tuck it with my fingernail. Go over the spine. Go back down into the spine. And then across. Make sure that there's no bubbles. So that when you close it, you don't have the problem I just had. It's going to be able to adjust to the book. When it's shut. Okay. Why are you giving me a headache? I like this wallpaper. It's so pretty. Even though it does look like it's going downhill a little bit. And let's see here. Maybe I should have to do it this way because I like the back, but I don't like the way the front looks. So we're going to do something a little different. Because that's what non-filtered means. Let's make mistakes. Okay, I'm going to straighten this up a little bit. Two scissors. Just because I like these better. So I'm going to trim this up some. I love these We Are Memory Keeper little scissors because They have such a smooth cut, and they cut through fabric too, really easy. So I like that. Nope, don't like it. Crafters curse. So what I want to do is I want to give it a more of a I should have done this when it was not sticky. But I'll give it more of a rounded. Kind of want to, yeah, give it a more in and out. I just don't want a straight look. I don't know how this is going to look. I'm just playing. No, I'm not liking this at all. Let me do something different. It's not making me happy. Okay. So while it has the sticky stuff on it, the paper is not sticky, or what do you want to call it? This out of my way. We'll do it this way instead. I'll give it the finish I want. And then cut it this way. I don't care if it's straight or not. Just want to get a piece cut that I like. Okay, this should work better. Now, I want to give this an in and out, like this type of cut. Okay. That's what I was aiming for. And then we will take, do I want this the cover or the back? I think I like that as the cover. Yes. Okay. And then, oh, what did I do with my tool? I don't know where my tool went. Oh, there it is. It's stuck to a piece of lace. for my tool. Okay. I'll use this one. We will go for ground. Let's see, which one do I want to use? We'll go with the black soot. And we'll edge. This up some before I peel it. Okay, set you aside for a second. Let me get the peeling process over here started. Maybe. Come on. Grip it, grip it, grip it. Hold on. Let me hold it closer. There we go. Okay. So I want it just like that. And I want it almost like in the middle. See how this will look better. Much better. Okay, so that will be the front. Hey, Rose. Hey, Sandy. How are you ladies doing this evening? Sorry, messing with wallpaper. Ugh, such a pain. Okay. Now for the back, I want to do this in the spread. So I am going to cut this out. Since I want that to be my center. Cut this straight up. Okay. We'll do this like this. And we will weave again. See what this looks like. Take more off the top side and the right. Okay. I'm guesstimating over here. Still a little more. Just right in here. Hey, Maddie. Yes, Sandy. I have a few paper trimmers, but I just like freehanding these type ones. I have a Fiskars. I'm not fond of the Fiskars though because they seem like I don't know, they get dull too fast, the blades. So I'm not a big fan of it, but I do have a guillotine. I have a couple of them. I have a small and a large. This here is just a random cut. I don't run with any crowd, Rose. I try to be fair to everybody that's fair to me. I don't like being part of a clique or anything like that. I just do my thing. If you notice, you will not see my subscriber count anymore. I hid it because I don't want to be about numbers. I like being about the people. I've always been a people person. Okay, let's see here. That's probably why I majored in psychology when I was in high school. I used to be a bartender. So I used to listen to people's problems all day long and half the night long. But if you have any questions that you want to ask me, I will answer. Like if you want to know anything about me personally, I'll answer. I have nothing to hide. You know how they say everybody has a skeleton in their closet? I don't. Not saying bad things haven't happened to me in my lifetime, but I just don't hide anything about myself. Let's see here. It's fun lurking in people's streams and listening to them. Sometimes I do that too. Let's see here. So I like that. I don't care if it's straight and perfect. A what? I don't have, my daughter owns a Cricut. I don't. But I'm not into the machines. I don't even own a sewing machine. Everything that I do, I prefer to do by hand because it's just how I am. I'm not much of a cussy cutter, though. I never even heard the term fussy cut till I came to YouTube. In my state, we just call it cutouts. It must be I don't know. It must be in certain states they call it that. Because I laughed the first time I heard it. I was like, what the heck is fussy cutting? And then when somebody said it was detailed, I was like, oh my gosh, that's like cussy cutting. Let's see here. Yep, I like it. So now I got to find a way to get this to peel. I tend to really love using drawer lines. Not the kind that you have to glue, but the kind that it's a sticker. I like stickers. Hold on, I got to get my nails going. I have been away from YouTube, actually. I even debated coming on tonight. I had a very busy weekend. My hubby took 2 days off. He works 7 days a week, and he's off every other weekend right now. His mill keeps changing, but he took off Monday and Tuesday. So when he takes his days off, I like vacationing with him. There we go. So that finally peeled off. So we have 3 vehicles. Okay. So this is why you know I'm busy. If I have not been visiting streams lately, this is why. I own a Chevy Trailblazer, which I absolutely love. I'm not a car person. I like those types. I have long legs. I'm like 5'8". So I like a car that you sit up in. I can't stand being smushed. Too, when you get arthritis, when you get older, it's hard to bend. And I call my husband's car a little China car. Because every time I sit in his car, I have issues with my right leg. So I have osteoarthritis and I have small vessel disease. So it's kind of like my legs are stiffening and it's horrible. Like every day I've got to get up and do like mild exercise, especially with my right leg. It's really been bothering me a lot lately. I need to go see a doctor, but I haven't lately. But anyway, he knew it was coming. But it's hard for me to sit down into a car. Like I have to put my butt in first and then turn around to get in his car because he drives a Ford Fusion. But it doesn't matter really what the name brand is. Like if it's a Ford or Chevy, I don't care about any of that. To me, it's if a car gets you to plan A to plan B, it's all that matters. So I love my Chevy Blazer. I do. It's got a horse plate on the front that says Tammy, of course, that my husband bought me for Christmas one year. And it's broke down right now because the power steering pump went out. Well, it's really sucky because some of the people that we know here, you know, some own junkyards, some own car dealerships, whatever. We took it to a junkyard and I wish I would have never done it. Not that I don't like the people, but they put a used part on it. It makes me so mad that we got charged $300 for labor and all that. And they stuck a used part and it broke again. And it's like, what the heck, people? I want a brand new part. So my husband ended up buying a new one, but you can't turn the steering wheel because it's the steering, power steering. We're constantly filling it with fluid. So my husband is not a mechanic. He can fix some things, but when you've got to tear the whole front end practically apart to get a part in, he's not down for that. He has no patience. So I need to get that one to a shop. But in the meantime, I craft with my grandkids, and plus I was going to meetings every Wednesday that I like to go to with some special ladies. But I just haven't had the chance. So my husband decided to pick up from the junkyard. His girlfriend sold it. It wasn't actually a junk car that comes in, because that's one of the things I like about some junk places is that you know what you're getting. Well, we bought a Ford Focus. For some reason, the guy took out the tire sensor. So now I have that light flashing. It's going to cost me $30 or something like that per tire to put it back in, which is absolutely ridiculous. This is what happens when you buy used vehicles. You buy somebody else's headache. So then I got another light pop on, and I couldn't see that it was the car stalling and the check engine light got stuck on. Then the oil light came on. Oh, I've had so many lights pop on this new Ford Focus. I'm like ready to throw it away. So, and it's funny because there was actually a story behind my Blazer too. The Blazer was bought brand new by some lady in Ohio. I feel so bad for her because when she had the Blazer brand new, so many cars that were put out that year, this particular one had all the glitches. Of course, I would get the one out of 1,000 that has all the glitches. So her motor went out and she had it it was rebuilt. The motor was totally rebuilt. But when she took it in, they never told her the transmission was about to go too. So after she paid all that money, this is what I hate about certain garages that don't tell you the truth. She paid all that money for the engine, and then the transmission went out. What she did, she took the keys, took the brand new vehicle, handed it over to the junkyard, and said, "You can have it," because she was tired of dealing with everything going wrong with it. Well, I ended up with that vehicle. I have had no issues with it since the engine's been rebuilt and everything's been replaced. But just the power steering pump went out so far. So hopefully we're getting ready to get it fixed. So my husband took these days off. To make a longer story short, he took these 2 days off because his Fusion was brand new off the lot, and because he has to have a brand new car. He can't drive used or leased, because the miles he travels per day, they would never lease him a car. And this one here had good coverage on it from the garage he bought it from. So he's trying to get like 50,000 more miles out of it. But in the meantime, he had like $1,700 work that needed to go into it. That's what our bill came to. It was $1,700 some dollars. He had it realigned, everything, got the sticker on it. So when he took these days off, that's what we've been doing, playing with vehicles. So I had to drive him to the garage, drop the car off, drive back, and then he had to have tires done yesterday. So this is what we've been doing with our weekends. In the meantime, I told him, since we're already over here getting your tires done, I've been wanting a new couch and patio furniture. So we decided to go furniture shopping, and we found the beautifulest patio set. It is so pretty. And now they were minus one chair, so we're waiting for that. And then the couch we ordered a specific color, so it has to be, especially ordered. And it's going to take 6 to 8 weeks, because with COVID here, well, wherever, I don't know if it's where the furniture's coming from, they're lacking people who can actually put the covers on furniture. So furniture is behind. And I noticed in the marketplace where I live in the area, you see a lot of furniture for sale, like really a lot of furniture. It's surprising, but my husband didn't want a used couch. He wanted a new one. The only thing bad about getting a used couch, sometimes you can get deals, but then you don't have a warranty. We're on our new couch, of course, you get a warranty for so long. That's why he wanted a new one. So we picked out a couch. Now we just got to wait for the order to come in. But we had a busy, busy week. We had a sandbox that the grandkids played in. Nice big square one on legs that got a crack in it. So I took the sand out. And what I do with my sand out of my sandbox is, because, we're upcyclers and everything. At least I know I am. So I took the sand out, and I got like 6 bags, double bag sand out of it. And I'll use that next winter, because unfortunately this past winter, our whole backyard froze. Like it was a sheet of ice. My husband literally did a split in our backyard. I'm surprised he didn't get hurt, because he wore his work boots out. And I said, Mike, you should never take shoes with no tread. If that would have been me, they would have had to call an ambulance. But he came back in. He's like, I just did a split in the backyard. I'm like, are you all right? Because we have to take the dog out to go to the bathroom. Even she was sliding. That's how bad it was. So I told him, why didn't you take sand out of the sandbox and throw it down there to give yourself some traction? I always carry sand. Sand's like a big thing to me to even carry in the back of your car, because it gives you really good traction if you get stuck. I'm a MacGyverizer. When you're a single mom like I used to be, you learn to do those things. Or if you're just single, period, you learn how to take care of yourself. So I took out all of it. We got all the sand stored, and everything is getting ready to go, to the trash. I can't wait, because we have 2 like cement slabs in the back of our house to set out the patio furniture. So I'm pretty excited, because where I used to live, we had a little 4-foot on top of the ground pool. And we had to dig out the flat spot by hand. Me and him and the kids, when they were still at home, we all shoveled and took turns. And I had a little flower garden that I put in beside our picnic table, and I missed that in our backyard because this here, since we moved here, we haven't really had time to do anything, but we did replant the Japanese blood red tree. When I used to work at Lowe's in the greenery, I bought one on discount. It looks absolutely gorgeous in the backyard. So we had it relocated from our first property to this property by one of my friends who owns an excavating company. He helped us move it. So it's a beautiful tree. The only bad thing is it's starting to die. So I might have to have somebody come and look at it. But the maple tree I have in the backyard looks really good. So, because we planted a couple trees since we lived here. And we have a dog pen outside for my puppy just to go outside. My husband put a dog box in it, but she doesn't really stay there. It's just more of a playpen for her. When we have a cooler day or if he's out mowing grass, she's got to follow him everywhere. So we put her in the pen so she can see him because she literally will run from window to window to see her daddy. She's spoiled by my husband terribly. So unfortunately, when my husband comes in the house and sits down to watch TV, she's like on top of him. She's 60 pounds or 30 pounds. I don't know. She's a heavy dog, though. She thinks she's still a puppy. So that's what I have been doing the past few days. I'm really liking how this turned out. And if I want to change the spine, I can. Not sure I'm going to, though. But I really like this. This is going to be custom for someone I know. One of my mother's friends. So I hope she likes it when it's done. So this is an altered journal, and I already tore the pages out of where I want it to go. Now, when Craft Arena did this, I loved her channel because that's exactly who I saw to get this idea, except she glues the pages from the back to the front. Not to crinkle it. I do it from the front to the back because for some reason I get crinkles either way, especially when you get more to the center of the book. I have no clue how this book's going to turn out because this is, being that it's a Reader's Digest, it's smaller than what I usually use for altering. Altering, I usually go with a 6x9 or bigger, because I just think it works better. So this is going to be my first smaller book. It's going to be interesting to see how this one turns out. So what I like doing, which today's not going to be a lot. I might put you to sleep because I don't edit videos or nothing. So you see the long way of everything being done. I take and I glue pockets 3 different ways. I do the top and the bottom. I shoot glue. And what the point is of this, you can do this or not, I just choose to do it, is to cover where I rip the pages out and turn it into a pocket. But I like pockets in these books because you can turn them into a pull out, or you can hide things in them. Like if you use this type of a book for receipts and doing your bills, you can hide your receipts right there. So what I do is every time I make a pocket, so I don't lose it where they're at, I paper clip it so I can find them later. And that way, if I go to put a tuck in them, I'll know where to put them. So this one's going to go in sideways. And I'm going to go to the next part where they're torn out, which is right here. This one here, I'm going to make into this type of pocket, which is kind of like my fold down pocket, I guess you want to call it. So what I do is I fold the page to match the words right here. And then I glue down here and across the bottom. And then just let the page sit there. But what I mean by crinkle is when you go to turn it after it dries, sometimes you get a crinkle because the page is stretching over the hump of the way the book is made. So what I do on this is I go down the flap, across and down. And this journal will be decorated with country stuff because the lady that gets this, she likes country stuff. And my mother loves her book. I made her like this. And you just go through it. And this one here, I don't have to mark, but that could be a pocket too. And then I go to the next pages. And then this one here, I can do even differently. I can come down the side, across the bottom. Something like this could also be turned into a child's school collection book. You ever see those school books where they have the little slots? You can put their picture of the year, the grade they're in. I have a couple for my kids. And you can keep samples of their homework down inside the little hidden pockets. They usually have a place to put a picture, the name of their teacher, their friend that year, and so forth. And then this one I'll mark as a straight up and down pocket. But I'll get the pockets done, let this dry, and then I continue to decorate it. So that's what I do with an altered book. I turn one into a journal that I made for myself, and I love it. But the whole point is to take pages out because you're going to be rebuilding it. And then I have some of my dyed pages. I have my pink. I have my coffee dyed. I have like a lavender. And I have some blue. I do need to make some mint green, and I do want to make some tea dyed eventually. But these will help when I go to redecorate this. Besides anything else, I want to add like pictures from a magazine. Like if you get a hold, I got tons of magazines. Like here's Good Housekeeping. Or if you want country-based, bird-based, we have a thrift store that's really nice here. These got donated to me. People just started dropping off stuff outside my bookstore, so I got all these free. But if I'm looking for a specific bird or something, we have a thrift store, St. Vincent's, I go to that has that kind of stuff where you can cut stuff out to turn it into a country. My mom likes to can. She likes to, she likes kind of like different colored jars and things like that. So those are the type of pictures that I added into hers. And she's real dedicated to her church. So I also stuck a section in hers that was nothing but where she could go and post religiously whatever she wanted to put in her journal. So hers kind of like a multi-section that I did with hers. And her friend was at her house and saw the journal, and she was like, I love that. She says, where'd you get that at? She says, Tammy made it. And so now she wants one. So that's who's I'm working on. So this will go to Linda. I hope she likes it, because I don't really know her favorite colors and stuff, but I think it's fun to do a custom if you know a person. Like I know my mom, so I knew what she would like, but it's a little harder when you don't know what a person likes. See what I mean by the bubble? Now, Craft Arena said she does hers from the back to the front to prevent that, but to me, it does it to me both ways. I don't know what her secret was. I couldn't figure it out, so it is what it is. I don't care if it bubbles. To me, it just gives it character. But here I'm going to do let's try the opposite direction. we'll do a page bent this way. But I think it's the hump of the book that causes that ripple too, because you don't know how the pages, you know, are going to lay as you're turning it side to side. But I like putting it on lightly so it kind of like falls where it needs to go. Sometimes it works out and I don't get ripples, and sometimes it does. I think it has a lot to do with the width of the book though. But they're fun because they have these little tucks. Hey, Liz! So I have this that I bought from Walmart. You get a whole bunch of paper clips. I did not get your book order ready, lady. I still have to do another customer too. I got so behind this weekend because we did nothing but run. But when I do get my new patio furniture set up, I will have you outside and I'll show you the pretty furniture. And yes, it has blue pads that you sit on. The only thing I worry about here is wind. Like you know, today my dog drug me outside and I was like, what are you leading me to? And the sandbox was a hard plastic thick one, not one of those little turtle ones. It was like a rectangular one. It had fallen partway on the road. So my dog led me down like, Mom, I heard this noise, fix it. So the leg of it was laying out in the road and the lid. So I had to pull everything back in. So I have to really watch. That's my biggest fear about putting any furniture outside too, because my dog's pen is literally 2 metal pens put together because she's a medium-sized dog. So we wanted to give her a bigger pen. And let me tell you, when my husband put that out there, he had a nice tarp over the roof. The wind come up, sucked it up. And I mean, this pen is heavy. I can't budge it by myself. It took 3 people to pull it out of my neighbor's yard because it knocked out the privacy fence and it landed up against her house. That's how bad the wind gets here. So I'm kind of worried about my porch furniture. So I have been looking, because we live on a hill. So I've been looking into ways to put it down, like my husband had to really tie down her pen so that wouldn't happen again. But even with it tied down, it's still like messed up the tarp. I mean, the tarp is on top of it. It's like unbelievable how the wind gets here. How do I do the pages? What I do is I count everything from the leaf to the back of the book. Now, what I do when I want to determine how many pages I want, I keep it under. I try to go anywhere between 50 and 100, and I'm not talking front and back. I'm talking counting 1 page. So what I do when I first get a book, because of course, you know, it's both sides that the book counts. So I had this book to give you an example. All the pages that aren't numbered were included. This book had 388 pages altogether. So what I did was I divided it by 2. I got 264 pages. So then I took the 264 and I wanted approximately 50. So I divided 50 into the 264 pages. And it took me down to tearing out 5 pages at a time. So what I did was I count 5, take out 5, count 5, take out 5. That's how I figure out how to do my book pages. This one here, I did like 3 though, just to get started. Because I wanted a little more in this one than the 50 though, so because I changed my mind. So I did like 3 and then I went back and did like 2 more here and there. But as long as you rip it where the pages are ripped, you're good. You got to pick the front and the back because you don't want like 2 pages running in together where, you know what I mean? Like here, this is an envelope and I have this page decorating this page and then it's ripped again. So that's how I figured out. Dream. Liz, it is not. You just got to do math. But it depends on how many pockets you want. I did this journal here. Okay, this is one that's finished. This one's different though. It depends on like how many pockets you want and if you mind seeing ripped pages. This one here, I only wanted 2 pockets. So this is what one looks like when it's done now. This, sometimes a book will have pages I want to keep in them and not tear them out. So you have to be really careful where you rip when you do that, because like you don't want this one glued to the next page. So this one here, I only did 2 pockets. This is like all writing area. And then I took a piece of fabric and turned it into a tuck pocket. And how I measured for this pocket to see if it would fit is greeting cards. I took a greeting card and stuck it in here and used it as a template to cut cardstock. So a person can do whatever they want with this. They can line it, they can put pictures in it, but I tried to make a travel. So that's why you'll see maps in this one. But I didn't do pockets. Like, see, this is where it ripped area was because I only wanted 2 pockets in this. To see how this got rippled? This is what I mean by the wherever the book page is when you glue. Sometimes you get that crease. Sometimes you don't. It's weird how these books work like that. And then I have a pocket right here. But you can tell where the pockets are because of the tabs. But this is one. The last one I made, I sold at one of my sales, so it's gone. But it had a lot more pockets in it. It was more nature oriented. Right now, I'm just going through and picking out where I want to put my pockets. And I want her to have a lot of pockets so that she can put whatever she wants in it and carry it with her. I like these to journal in for church because I think you can take, you know, like scriptures or something that you got, like if you had a paper from church or something that you wanted to save, you could just stick it right in the pocket of it. You can carry it with you. I like it for that reason. So we'll put this here. Just a little bit more glue on this. So this will just be done and then dry. Let to dry before I move to the next step. I did one of these on here and it took like 4 weeks. This will probably be the last altered one I do for a while because I do want to move on to something different. Plus I got another journal upstairs I'm working on. That's going to be my first hidden signature. And then I have other signatured ones I have not finished. One's fabric with Holly Hobby. One's the ugly duckling that I redid the spine. I just haven't finished them. I need to get them back on here to get them done. But I think this will be cute when it's finished. We'll see. So I did another inside like that. And then this one here, I'm going to go down and up. Okay. I did not have that sealed, so we're going to take this across and go up with it. I hate when my glue bottle almost gets to the bottom because I got to lay it sideways. I meant to get some more glue when I was out and I forgot. I got 2 gallons of Elmer's glue upstairs, but I really like the Athena's better. Aleena's, I mean. The Aleena's tacky glue is my favorite. I don't know if you're still here, Maddie, but I bought that Tombow glue off of you. You should hear my granddaughters. Every time I pull that little thing out, my granddaughters, we want that one, Nana. We want that one. Because they like it that the bottle's small. I thought that was funny. And it's got that little tip on it. But right now, my daughter has them using glue sticks. And then the other day, she was out. So they used, it was hysterical. They were using a glue jar, like with paintbrushes. Oh my gosh, you want to talk about a mess. It was absolutely funny. Layla kept dropping her paintbrush on my leg. So I had glue all over my leg from her paintbrush. I love it when kids get messy. I think it's so funny. She was sticking me with everything. I told my daughter when I left there, I was going to have all her pictures stuck to my legs and her glue. I mean, her paintbrush. It was hysterical. And I did get my greeting card section holders moved out of my bookstore. I am so excited over that. Because I needed to make room down here so bad to unbox a lot. Like a lot of stuff I bought still in boxes after I do the videos because I want a place to lay everything out. So I bought 2 totes, 2 more little carrier things that I want to put my die cuts and stuff in. And instead of getting the 8-foot table, I bought a 6-foot table that's going to sit down here, and I got to get everything organized. So between that and open bookshelves, that's what my craft room is going to look like. Because I've watched people do craft room makeovers. Okay. Me and my husband laugh at some of the subjects I bring up. We'll be talking at night, watching TV after he comes home from work and whatnot. And I'm like, who literally, I mean, think about these questions. Everybody's different. You know, we're like snowflakes. Who is the person that thought to put doors on our kitchen cabinets? Think about that for a second. Is it a person that can't stand looking at clutter and they had to hide everything? Or because to me, I feel like, you know, me and my sister shared a room growing up, and we were polar opposites. She was the type of person who, she didn't care if her shirt was in a ball. As long as it was put away in a drawer, she didn't care as long as her surface was clean. I'm the total opposite. I like everything folded in my drawers. I like my closets to look good. I will never be one of those people that owns a closet where you open the door and everything falls on you. But I am a clutterer on the surface. That's the opposite. And my husband's the same way. So our biggest pet peeves with each other, he tries to scoop my stuff in closets. And I'm like, no, I don't think so. If there's not enough room in my closet for it, it's not going to go there. So he's always trying to shove my stuff and hide it. Well, I come to find out through crafting too, which you do learn more about yourself. I've seen one person on here in the videos that I have watched that actually did a craft room that would totally suit me. I don't like my stuff hidden. I like to be able to see what I have. So that's why I think bookshelves work better for me than even totes. Because I would rather open up you know, like everything be open so I don't forget what I have. And Johnny did a video on her craft room, and I absolutely loved it because she did exactly how I would set up my craft room. Hey, Mousy. No, we never sleep. But I like, you know, how she had like plastic drawers, but they were open to where everything you can see, like all the color of the pages that she had and stuff. She's the only crafter I have ever seen that would make a craft room that would be my dream. So I told my husband, because my daughter and him, they kept looking for all these cabinets that, you know, they kept, you know, had doors to hide it. Oh, I love clutter, Sandy. I can't find nothing if my house is clean. I like knowing where everything's at. I don't like it right beside me, though. Like, I like it to where I would be able to see it. And my husband, you know, like me and him were talking, I have a cabinet in my kitchen that's got like my seasonings and my baking stuff. And I'm telling you, he got in there one time. We had stuff back in 2009 in my cabinet because I forgot about it. Not me. I love seeing what I have. But your idea of clutter is not what I'm talking about, though, Liz and Sandy. I'm not talking about stuff laying around where you're tripping over. That's not what I mean by clutter. I like to see what I have. Like, I'd rather have all my seasonings sitting on a shelf that I can see them all. So when I check the expiration, I don't go through all my cabinets looking for expiration dates. Like, I like to see what I have, so when I'm cooking, I could just pull it. That's why I think that they have 2 different types of ways that you can have seasoning racks, or you can hide it. I don't like my stuff hid. And my husband's like, yeah. Because my husband's like, why do you have everything sitting out on the thing beside the oven? Because I want to know what I have. I don't want to skip over, because I'll hear people talking and say, oh, I don't know. Like, they'll be talking about their grocery list and stuff, and they'll be like, oops, I bought some of this and I already had 2 of it. Well, why did you have 2 of it? Because you can't see it? Is it hidden in a cabinet? I like to see what I have so that I don't buy triples of it. So, like, you know, it's because I don't, who can make a list of everything? I can't make a list of everything I have. Heck, I would have papers for days. Melty. So I decided when I set up my craft room, you will all see it when it's done. I will do a live video of it. I want everything open to where I know what I have. And another thing that I do like doing, instead of dumping all my ephemera in a basket, I prefer to keep it, like, you know how you get the little die cuts that you buy from different paper lines? I would rather keep it in its package so that if you would ever go buy it again, you would know what to look for. The one thing I hate about being a crafter is unpacking something and then be like, where the heck did I get this from if I love it? And I can't remember where I got it. At least when you buy, like, We Are Memory Keepers, you see their logo on products and you can keep track sometimes. But sometimes if you have a paper line and you've got scraps, you don't know where it came from because it's all been cut off. So I do like having the packaging for a little while. And then if I like something again, I can make a list of it that way. But I would rather leave it in the plastic in case I want to buy double. But I'm organizing. And I like having plastic baskets where you can set stuff in, but I don't want anything closed. I told my husband I'm not doing it. I'm not going to have anything in my craft room as a cabinet or closed. Now, it'd be different if you had like a hutch with a couple doors and a bunch of cubby holes, and you can throw it open and leave the doors open and see what you have. That's not a problem. My problem is just hidden things. I don't like hidden things. I like seeing everything I have. And like my closet's got doors on it, and I got so many clothes now that I need to do a purge because I just don't see it. I would rather have an open closet to see what I have. So that's my word of the day. Open. Let's open everything so we can see what we have. Because I want to know. See, my mom has a rack like that. She has how she has her things organized. She's got a cabinet that closes, but she's got a slide out for, like, say, her plastic wrap, her Reynolds wrap, and all that, where it sits up in long ways, where it doesn't clutter a drawer anymore. And that's neat though, because when you pull the rack out, you can see everything lined up, and she can just replace it. I kind of like pantry style. I want to be a pantry style crafter. I want to be able to open up and know exactly what I have so that I don't mess up. I went through my cabinets, Rose, here recently, and I just scrubbed them all out, was wiping stuff out, and I just made them so much neater. I got one cabinet that's got like candles to the left. It's got my glass items I use for like brownies and different things up in a certain place. And then on the right hand side, there's my measuring cups. Like, I'm trying to simplify to where if I open the doors, it's just real simple and everything's in front where I can see everything. Now, if you had a door where you could line up all your stuff and nothing was behind each other, it'd be nice. Because I don't know if any of you ever heard of Falling Waters. You know, it's a house built by Floyd Wright. And we had art appreciation when I was in college. We had to do something for extra credit. I picked to view this house. Let me tell you what. Oh, he was made fun of as an architect. They said that his houses would never have no value. And let me tell you what, you look up Falling Water in Pennsylvania and you tell me that that house does not have value just looking at it. He built the house where, you know, houses are built where you can't, you know, you dig out the foundations. He didn't do that. He didn't move anything. He built the house around nature without moving nothing. So he picked a place out in the woods. This house is amazing to see. It really is. I recommend seeing it in the fall though, because the colors and stuff just makes it more beautiful. But he angled the house to where there's like a square, and then the next level turns and the next level turns. And it looks like there's a waterfall coming out of the house when it's really not. The house was built over it. Like the corner of it goes over it. So it's not in the house. It's running straight and it comes down, but it looks like it's coming out of the corner. If you ever get the chance, Google it. And this guy had nothing with doors. There was no cabinetries in this house that had doors. He had a boulder that was in the ground that came out of the floor by the fireplace. He had the way the brackets were arranged and the shelves in this house, everything was open. Their dishware and everything. You could see everything. I'm thinking, this man's like my dream. He built a house that I could so love. And every single room of the house, you can hear the waterfall. I told my husband I would so sleep in that house. Let me see if I can Google it for you, because I got to show you guys this house. It's amazing. And seeing it up close and for real is just, it's beautiful. Here it is. Falling Water. It's a historic landmark on Mill Run, Pennsylvania. And this is what the house looks like. See how it looks like the waterfalls coming out of the house? I literally sat on the bottom patio and my legs hung over and could not touch the water. But look how beautiful his architecture was. It's the way it was built. It's just he put it in nature. Now you can't put a dollar value on it. They said it had no value, and it's like you couldn't put millions on this house the way he did it. I love it. This is like the bottom, like when you're in the kitchen, you walk down steps and sit here. This is the second level, and each way he arranged it as a patio. This is one of the most beautiful pieces of architecture I just absolutely love in a house. I have pictures when I went and seen it, and it was beautiful walking through here. Beautiful. And you walk to, you like park. See, this is why it looks like the waterfall's coming out of it, because this is the back side. That's the actual waterfall. That was the platform I sat on. And the waterfall goes that way, but it looks like it's coming out of the house in this picture, but it's not. It is the most beautiful place I've ever seen. But you walk a path to go see it, and then you come out the one side of the house. You walk up a walk, and he's got like a roof built over top. It's not like a roof, though. It's like, I can't explain it. But it's above your head along the path. And then at the very, very top, I don't know if they show a picture of it or not, but at the very top, they have a pool. It's like an outdoor place you could literally take a bath or just sit in that is filled by rainwater. And it's all in a rock. It's like a great big rock with a hole cut in it, and water runs in it. And I forget how many days it said that it takes to fill it. This place is beautiful, though. It really is. This is the roof when you walk. I don't know how to describe what that is. It's like, feels like cement, but I think it's called adobe or something. I forget what material they made this with, but this stretches as a roof as you're walking up the hill. And then there's an in the house waterfall. See, this is part of the roof too, if I can get the picture up. Right here. So you get shade where you walk. But I love it. I love it. It's one of my favorite places to see. I want to go back again. We toured it once, but I would like to go back at a different season. I think the winter would be fun to see it. But anyways. So this one we did up and down. This page here, I'm going to bend again. I just randomly pick whatever to do to each page. Yes, a Frank Lloyd Wright house. Rose, beautiful, beautiful house. Falling Waters is my favorite. So there's that way. And then I'll do another side. It's nice to see other people's visions, you know. Move that one that way. And then let's see. This one I'm going to do. Up and down. I like art, period. I had to take art appreciation and music appreciation. I remember when I took music appreciation, man, that was a tough class, especially when I had no clue what half of those old instruments were. They would make us listen. One of the tests I had, we had to listen to a piece of classical music and we had to guess the main instrument. That was fun. Learned all about harpsichords and different things I never heard of. But I am glad that the arts was fit in. We had to go to a museum once and we had to look at a painting and then rate how it resonated with like something we went through in our life. Like tell a story. And that was fun. Something different. But I enjoyed both classes. I had never been to a ballet live except for on TV until I did music appreciation. Me and my mom, I got tickets for the both of us and surprised her because she had never been to a ballet either. And I took her to see the Nutcracker Ballet. That was probably one of the best times we had. It was a lot of fun. Something different. It's good to appreciate the arts. Hey, May. How are you doing? I'm getting sticky fingers. So I did the front down, this one down, and then I might do another up and down one. My favorite ones, these pockets are okay, but my favorite ones are the side ones. These aren't bad though. Because you can use these pockets and stick something, you know, out of the top, like a altered paper clip with something on it. How was your day, May? Did everybody have a good day today? I had a good day. I was tired. It was a rainy day. I stayed up last night binge watching Little House on the Prairie. I love Little House on the Prairie. So this one here is going to have a pocket down. And then I'm going to turn this into a double because I'm going to make this back go this way. So this is going to be a double pocket page. So you're going to have a pocket with another pocket, which these are fun too. I love Little House on the Prairie. That was one of my favorite shows growing up. I know, Sandy. Oh, Mrs. Olson. She cracks me up. Especially now that they're on the telephone part. Hey, college. Chat and craft, Deb's what this is about, what the title says. You never know what goes on in my live streams. I'm on the part where they just got the phones put in on Little House, and Mrs. Olson's listening on people's conversations and making up stuff. That woman, she kills me. She can be so caring at times when she wants to be, but she's such an instigator. She's terrible. My childhood was like Laura. Me and my sister, I think she compared herself to Mary and me, Laura. I was always the one in the mischief. I know. Mrs. Olson cracks me up. Her poor husband. But what kills me is when Nellie. No, I don't stream a lot at college. The only nights that I stream is Wednesdays. I'm not one of those type of people. I'm not here to be monetized. Yes. But my favorite thing was when Nellie met Percival. Oh my goodness. Percival killed me. I was watching the episode last night where Nellie was pregnant and she kept eating food, and Percival says, the doctor said you're getting too fat. You're not just feeding for the baby. And she's hiding from her husband, and he catches her in the pantry dipping a pickle in maple syrup. You know how disgusting that even sounds? And he told her to go to her room. And I was rolling because, I see that Nellie is more of a submissive type than her mother. Like, her mother would have had a cow if her husband said go to her room. But Nellie loves him because he bosses her. Because she always got away with everything. And I thought I think it's hysterical watching Percival boss her. Yes, it's hysterical. I was rolling. That's so funny. My husband's sitting there. What was it when they had to sign the when they had to sign the thing about women having rights to say what they say about the property, and Lars is something like, they say someday women will have the right to vote, but I doubt it. I just sit and laugh. If some of those people lived at this time, could you imagine what they would think? They would be like, oh my word, what happened to the world? I don't know, but that show cracks me up. I remember when my grandmother had a party line, she had a little black rotary phone. And I remember picking up the phone and listening to Mrs. Hornick, was her name, giving her grocery list. And I'd be like, oops, sorry. And I'd hang up. I never sat and listened. I always announced that I was there. I know, really? I'm telling you, college. They would come here and be like, what the heck did you people do? Oh, my word. It's just too funny. My husband's going, things were so simple back then. I said, where do you see that it was simple? I don't find it simple that you have an outhouse. And I wonder what changed that, they called it a water closet. What made them change it to a bathroom? Could you imagine? You got to go to the water closet. You got to use the water closet. I think that name is hysterically funny. But I told him I don't think that it was easy back then. I think that the things that I miss about back then is when a community person was in trouble, people would join in to help. You see it like if a fire or something happens here, but like, my grandmother once told me when they built the houses in the neighborhood they lived in, everybody worked together to did it together. There was no paying for labor for someone like construction to come and do it. They did house raisings together. Could you imagine how much money that would save people now? And but I told my husband I don't find it easy that you got to carry buckets to the house and wash your laundry outside by hand. I don't call that easy. Easy to stick it in a washing machine and be done with it. So, but I know what he means. Like certain things were easy when it come to there was no social media, but then it was rough when your husband would leave to go on the road because you had no way to call them before phones came in. They could be gone for months and you wouldn't even know if they died on the job. Like, you know what I mean? There's things that were, things that weren't. I don't know. I kind of look at all the views. But it would have been fun to go back into the past to see what it was like. Very, very interesting. You know. But the horses. Oh, my goodness. Did you guys see the episode where they got stuck in the winter and they were at the house? And it was like a different house out in the woods. It was abandoned. And Pa came in and said, unless I'm able to find some wildlife, because he was going out to shoot a deer, so we're going to have to eat one of the horses. I said, they're not going to eat a horse. Oh, please don't tell me. I never realized how much they looked at horses like livestock and cows back then. I can't even imagine. Now when I hear the term, I could eat a horse, I don't want to hear it anymore. Because that's just wrong. Because there was a couple episodes they talked about eating the horses. I'm like, no, I could never eat a horse. Pegasus. I like Pegasus. What do you mean, what is this? It's a live stream. And this is a book I'm altering. I have some charms with Pegasus on them. I like Pegasus. I'm not a unicorn person, but I do like Pegasus. Well, thank you. You never know what we're going to talk about in here, Pegasus. So I do too, May, but I can't find them. My daughter was just asking about them a couple days ago because she's like, I would like to sit and read, because I sat and read the whole series to my girls in the hallway every night before bed. My daughter's like, what do you mean you can't find them? I said, they're here somewhere. They're just all paperbacks and I have them numbered in order, but I can't find them. I don't know what I did with them when I moved here. And I have it was another book that was made later. It's like a tall one. I think it came out of some kind of book thing, and it had recipes and different things in it that they added later. But I gotta find it. Did you? Well, that's interesting. Okay, so now I need to do a side pocket. I'm making a book you can hide stuff in. May, are you calling Pegasus a hoe? That's hysterical. Oh, let me tell you about typos. I've had my share. I told a couple people, I think it's funny. I was telling a couple people about my Yahoo chat days. And I said, this one guy came in and he was on cam, and I didn't look at him. I never looked at people's cams unless I asked permission. And I remember this guy come in, and I went to say, hey, cowboy, to come out, hey, cow butt. And somebody said, we know what she's looking at. I said, you guys are ridiculous. I love my chat friends, though, because they were ornery like we are. And I'm like, no, it was a typo. It meant to say cowboy and it came out cow butt. It was hysterical. And then another time, somebody come in chat and asked me how I was doing. And I meant to say I was washing my house. I was scrubbing my house. And it came out hose. This guy come out to me, Mason. Would that be garters, ma'am? I said, no, you pervert. I meant to say house. So you never know what you're going to come through with typos. I think typos are absolutely fun. They're awesome. I was always in trouble, May. I didn't have to try. I made no effort whatsoever, and I still got in trouble. So college. Did you have college debt? Is that where your name came from? You know that my daughter has had to refer her payments. I can't tell you how many times. She went to college. She's got her bachelor's in business administration. Let me tell you, it's awful when you're in college debt. I have to say on loans, it's terrible. She's been paying on hers forever. Oh, it's funny. I can stay home and get in trouble, May. Seriously. I don't have to do anything and get in trouble. I'm blunt, though. That always gets me in trouble. But I can't help it. If I see or feel a certain way and I approach a person, which I do, I'm very forward. My dad was the type, you speak your mind. Sometimes I do it a little too much. My husband tells me I'm too honest. I keep telling him he's not honest enough. He tells me I'm too deep. I tell him he's too shallow. I like being deep. I can't help it. It's my nature. Some people don't like me because I'm blunt, but I can't help it. I would rather somebody be truthful. So we were watching the episode on Little House on the Prairie where, since they got into Nellie eating pickles and stuff, and Mrs. Olsen said she walked in when Percival said something about her being fat. Your dad might like his wife being fat, but I did. So I looked at my husband and said, "Am I fat?" My husband just looks at me because he would never be the type of husband that if I said, "Do I look fat?" and that he would never admit it because he wouldn't want to get slogged with the pillow. Oh my God, that is so funny. I know, me too. I'm the same way. I speak my mind too. And I don't mean to offend when I do it, but if I see it, I call it. And I always get in trouble, but I don't care. I'm the type of friend that if you're sitting across me at the table and you got lettuce stuck in your teeth, I'm going to say, hey, you got lettuce in your teeth. Oh my goodness. I had a friend one time. I had lipstick on my tooth and the witch never told me. I'm like, why didn't you say something? And she says, I didn't want to hurt your feelings. So I'm just talking away with lipstick on my teeth and you didn't even let me know. And I had another friend that was never like that. She would always tell you if you had flaws. But I prefer people to be upfront. If somebody thinks I'm being rude, tell me. I can handle it. But I do. I like blunt people. It's probably why I end up in so many fights and arguments because of being blunt. But oh well. To me, a true friend's an honest friend. So we're going to do a side one here. Yep. That's how I feel too. Your true friends will always tell you the truth, even if it's bad. I had a sometimes there's testings that happens through your life that you go through and you would never expect who would stand up for you. You know, I went through a couple bad times and it was amazing. The people that came forth, that was shocking, that actually were there. They were people I wouldn't have expected to. And the people I thought would be weren't, which was shocking too. But it's pretty amazing. So, not sure if you've ever heard of the junk journaling community, Pegasus. They have tons of videos out there, but I only use Bookstore. And we like to upcycle things that nobody wants so they don't end up in landfills. So what I'm doing to this book is I'm turning it into a journal, but an altered one. Sometimes you can make these into glue books. You can make them into writing books. You can do anything you want with them. Here's one that's finished. I just showed this a little bit ago. This one here is like a traveling one that if you would go on vacation and you would take this, and they're one of a kinds, by the way. You can't find this in any stores because they're homemade. This book came into my bookstore and had a gash right here. So I covered it and I upcycled it. This is my coffee dyed paper. And there's maps throughout. And what you can do is you can put pictures of places you've been. You can record. And then this is a piece of cardstock with fabric. And we might like making books look pretty that nobody wants. So that's what I did with this one. And if there are pictures that's in the book I like, I leave them. So this one's actually done. And we sell these on Etsy or give them as giveaways, whatever. Nobody buys them. But it's just something that's fun to do. Yes, she does live stream. May does. She does her streams too. I'm not sure what my video count is on YouTube. I know it's over 1,000 though. How long have you been on here, Pegasus? Well, first off, college, you don't come into somebody's stream and ask people to post their links in case some people don't like that. Because there's some channels on here that don't promote. Me, I don't care. May can post, whoever that's in blue can post their links if they want to. But some streams don't like that. But I like promoting my friends, so that's all good. Another thing I seen people get bent about, which I kind of would too, I guess, is when you're in the middle of a stream and someone's saying, I'm getting ready to go live, come and watch me. That's like a big no. I've seen people do that tons of times on here. All right, Rose. Thank you so much for coming. Yeah, me too, May. I do too. Hey, Barbara. How are you? But yeah, May and them know, my mods know they can put their links in and they can put other channel links in. But my thing is sometimes I post a YouTube personality that I like and I'll put their stuff in. Hey, Michelle. But you can my personal opinion, the proper way of networking to me is to go to check out a person's channel, and then if you like the content, you subscribe to them, but don't just do it because somebody shares a link. You know what I mean? It's nicer to know what the content is. And then you subscribe if you like them. Sometimes I lurk on a channel and kind of listen to see them a couple times. I usually try to give 2 tries to decide whether I like a channel or not before I subscribe to them. I haven't done a YouTube appreciation one lately, but I need to start doing them again. Excuse me, because I think I have the ones I've done on my community tab. Hey, Mary. Thanks for coming. Why do you make it private? And thanks, Pegasus. I've seen some people. I have a friend that's getting ready to take, and she said something about deleting some of her private shows, but people don't realize that actually hurts your channel on YouTube. If you make a video or whatever and you have views on it and you don't say you just want to make it private, I understand, because if you make it private, then your views and stuff are still there. But deleting it actually hurts your channel. I don't know if people know that or not, but it does. So I tell people, you know, if you're going to do something like that, don't delete it. Just set it to private. Unless it's something they just don't care to have, then delete it if you want to. But I would set it to private before I would delete it, because it kind of messes up with your YouTube algorithm. Yeah, because if if a person's trying to get monetized, I think what it affects, if you're not trying to get monetized, it's no big deal. But if a person's trying to get monetized, that takes away all the watch time. If you delete it, it's gone. The watch time disappears. Like it never existed. So that's why I say I would rather see people put it in private than delete it, so that way you'll still have your watch time. You know what I mean? Unless it's like a bad video that you don't want up anymore, like you made mistakes or you just want to get rid of it, then that's different. But it will mess with your watch time and your algorithm. Me, I don't care to get paid by YouTube, so I don't care what happens. I don't even save the videos I uploaded, because people were saying that, you know, I don't know how people have lost channels on here, but somehow, I don't know if they got locked out of their account. I'm not exactly sure how that happens, but I guess it does. Because I mean, well, Yahoo, we kind of used to get locked out of Yahoo sometimes, but there was a way around it. I don't know how YouTube handles that, but I don't save any of my videos. So to me, they'd get deleted off my computer as soon as I do them. So if I ever get locked out, well, I'm just out of luck. I'd have to start over, because I wouldn't want to reload my old videos anyways. You know what I mean? I don't know. I would rather have new content coming all the time than repost my old. So I guess if that ever happened, well, I'd just be out of luck, I guess. Yeah, it is, May. One of my friends, she gave me the best compliment ever this weekend. She said, I would hate to see you get monetized and censored. That's like the best compliment. I don't want to be censored. I don't want to have to walk on eggshells with thing I say, you know? Thanks, Liz. But to me, I'll try to share what I learn as I learn it. You know, but I'm still learning stuff every day. They keep changing. Hey, cat videos are good. You know who does really cute animals on here too, Pegasus? I don't know if you know Lulu Loves You. Oh my goodness. Let me see if I can find her channel. I'll put it in. I love Lulu's channel. I need to go watch her a little more than what I do. It's hard visiting everybody. Let me get her up here. I can find her. She's got the cutest channel ever. Why can't I find it? Why is it every time we get to look for a channel, it's never there? And I know it's here. Okay. Anyways, I can't find her channel, but it's Lulu Love You, and it's really cute. I can't remember if she's got dashes or not. They're such a pain. But she does really cute little clips of her hamsters and like little animals that she has in her house. Oh my god, they are such cute videos. But I can't seem to find her channel for some odd reason. Hold on, let me check because I have her on Twitter too. Where are you, Lulu? Okay, I found her Twitter account. Where is her channel? She does not have her YouTube listed on here. I wonder why. I was hoping she promoted her channel on here, but I'm not seeing it. Okay, wait a minute here. And that's Lincoln Park. Okay. She's got a bunch of posts on her Twitter of music people. Okay. Maybe this is her channel. Let me see. Yes. Yes, finally she promoted her channel. Okay. So this is a really cute channel to follow if you like animals. I should actually have her one of my YouTube personalities because she is funny. She got a good heart. Okay. Here she is. There's Lulu's channel. So if you like animals, there you go. Oh, I know college. Let me tell you, I really hate it. I even wrote into YouTube. It's like, why did you take the feature where we can right click on people and find them? The only way you can do it now is in the comment section. It's so much easier to add a person in a live stream when you could click on it and poof, there their link was, or their channel. And when they took that feature out, it's been horrible. It makes it harder to block people that you don't like too, like idiot trolls that come in and stuff. It's harder to block them now because you got to find them. YouTube did not do justice when they took that feature out. Okay, so here we have this front, and then there's that one, and then this one. Yes. Lulu has a great channel. She's funny. I like Lulu. My funny go-tos that are cute and funny is I love her channel. And this one here, she just cracks me up, period. If you're ever having a bad day and you just really want to catch somebody funny, here's another one of my favorite channels. This is Heatherland. If you don't know who Heatherland is, I don't know where you people been. I ain't doing it. So there's her link. If you ever have a bad day and you just want some funny, she is hysterical. I love Heatherland. I actually did not discover her on YouTube. I discovered her on Facebook. She cracks me up. But she also has a talk. Sometimes she wants to cover certain things, like hot flashes and estrogen and stuff like that. She had a talk about that on one of her stream or her things one day, and that was really good. I get to see her wedding when she got married. The proposal was really nice. She shows like vlogs of her life, but she's just a comedian. And what was funny was the story behind her channel is even interesting. Was she's always doing these funny skits, and one of her friends told her, why don't you take that to YouTube? And she was like looking at her friend like she's crazy. And she did, and she grew because of her little skits that she just used to do for fun. And she became a comedian that tours. Oh, I love her though. She is so funny. She can take the most negative things and turn it into the funniest stuff. Me and my daughter both watch her. I like her. But then again, you know, there's YouTubers we like, YouTubers we probably would never agree on. But that's the whole thing about watching their content. And if you like them, you follow them. And if you don't, you don't. That's what makes YouTube so special, because everybody on here is like a little snowflake. We're all different and have different reasons to be here. And you find who you like to hang out with and who you don't. I had a couple channels I followed that I left because I'm just not for me. Me and Jennifer, this girl I knew a while back, we added the same channel in a live stream, and it was awful. They had like these little Play-Doh people doing naughty things, and we like both were laughing because we had no clue what the content was. And I said I about died when I watched the first video because I didn't. Sometimes when you're in a stream or you're busy, because I like crafting, I don't have time to check out their channel, and I'll add them and then check them out later, which I would prefer to check them out first. It was awful. I like so unsubscribed from that channel. But you have to have a pretty shoddy channel for me to unsubscribe. Because I'm pretty, you know, I like difference. I follow all different niches on here. I don't stick to one genre or category, whatever you want to call it. I like a variety. And I don't expect people to follow me back just because I follow them either. The only thing that I wish YouTube had, and this is just for my own personal preference, is Instagram. I just talked about all this with Liz. Instagram has a unfollow. It's a little gadget that's made, kind of reminds you what boot programs used to be made of in the Yahoo days, where I kept getting people follow me and then unfollow me, where at least on Instagram you can check if a person's following you or not. You type your name in, and if it doesn't show up at the top of the list and you know they're not following you back, and it's not that I really care who follows me back, because I don't. I follow who I want to follow regardless if they follow me back or not. But you have these companies, like I kept having this wig company constantly adding me on Instagram. And I'm like, why is this wig company keep adding me? And then I got a hold of this app that shows you who follows you and unfollows you. Well, it was a business, and what their game was is they would follow you, so you would follow them, and then they would hurry up and unfollow you. I don't like that when they keep repeatedly doing it. So the app that I had told me what they were up to, because what people don't realize when you're on here, Google has two different ways of finding out information. Okay, say you're looking for a review, say like the purple bed, okay, because we just bought the purple mattress. Say you type in the positive reviews, or just reviews on something, you mostly get the positives. But if you go back to Google and type in what are the negative reviews, you get a whole nother ball game. So if you go to Instagram and you see that like 1.6 million people are following somebody, you're thinking, okay, I can follow that many people back. You're wrong. You can't. You ever wonder why these companies are only following like 326 people, but yet they have 1.6 million following them? Because Google doesn't tell you, unless you ask it specifically, how many people can I follow on Instagram? You can only follow 7,500 people or something like that. There's a specific number, and then they cut you off. And a lot of people don't realize that, because they'll say, well, I seen 1.6 million following this person, because they're unlimited to that person. But that's not limit. You are limited on how many you follow, but an unlimited amount can follow you, if that makes any sense. And if you don't ask that question, you don't know that. So when I came to YouTube, and how I found out was because I followed too many on Instagram, and all of a sudden I was cut off, and it told me. So when I come to YouTube, when I got to following 2,000 people, because I love everything. Like I have music people I like following, famous people, not famous. It doesn't matter. I follow who I want. At 2,000, I kept getting an error. It was like a fourth something error. I don't know. They had a couple different numbers. And it wouldn't let me follow anybody. And I'm like, what the heck is going on? Well, I didn't have the 2,000 people following me back. So when you hit 2,000 on YouTube, it cuts you off. A lot of people don't know this because it doesn't tell you. So until you have, okay, say you're following like 2,000 people, and then all of a sudden, okay, you have 2,000 people following you back, and then 50 more, then you're able to subscribe higher. And it used to be, if you typed in, why is YouTube cutting me off at 2,000? They would say, go back through your list and unsubscribe to the dead accounts or people that you're not going to follow. And that's the only way you could make room. Yep, exactly, May. But it's sad because you're not told these little glitches when you start into these programs, that there is a limit at times. I think it's like 7,500 that you can follow on Instagram, and they cut you off. You can't follow no more than that on Instagram. So that's why these companies were going around adding you and then unfollowing you. I do my homework. When I get glitches, I want to know what the heck's going on. Yep, and that's true. But the numbers do matter as far as how you stream. When I first started on YouTube, all you had to get was 1,000 subscribers, and it didn't matter how many hours you had, you got paid. You started getting paid, period. But then they changed it to where you have to have 1,000 subscribers and you have to have 4,000 watch hours to get paid. Like, they keep changing the rules all the time. But people kept asking me, how come you're at 1K and you're not getting paid? I said, because you have to have 4,000 watch hours, and I was lucky to have 4,000 minutes. Because I didn't come to YouTube to get paid. I didn't even know the Common User could have a channel. I came to YouTube because I wanted to find out about advertising. Because when I opened my used bookstore, I didn't realize how hard it was to advertise. It's expensive. So I was on Facebook and the guy gave some tips. So to me, it's how you utilize YouTube. To me, YouTube is a tool. First off, I mean, this is just my personal preference. It's not knocking the people who do want to make a living off here. Don't get me wrong, because I know some people that do good on here. But I like using YouTube as a tool. I didn't even know you could do live sales here. There was a lot of things I didn't know about YouTube when I started. For advertising, college debt for advertising. And so I talked to a business guy on here, and he was like, why don't you show your books on here? Like, it all fell into place. Like know your business, like learn your business through YouTube. And that's how I started utilizing it on how I saw fit for my store. I have a job offline. I would never rely on YouTube for my income. I'm sorry. The way that they're shaky. And when I say, like I was explaining earlier today in a live stream, I don't like to be censored on here. I believe in free speech, but I don't believe in abusing free speech. There's a difference between the two. To me, I'm gracious for free speech because I can have my own political views and I can talk about them and not get deleted for it and not fight about it. Being able to talk openly about anything. I don't care if it's racism. I don't care what it is. We should be able to talk about anything without it turning into a fight. I'm not talking about using it to use racism against a person or cuss people out and that kind of stuff. To me, that's abuse of the right of the freedom of speech. Freedom of speech to me means sharing your ideas. No matter what color, race, nationality, man, woman, it doesn't matter. You should be able to speak your views. And I noticed when all this stuff was going on with Trump and stuff, people couldn't even talk about him without their channels getting shut down, which I think is absolutely ridiculous because that's not a platform for freedom of speech. I don't want my censored. I don't want to be censored when it comes to my political views and to be able to talk about it. But I don't feel that people should fight about it either. Yes, you have to have 4,000 hours. From my understanding, when you get paid on here from people that I know that do get paid, they say that once you're monetized, they can't take it away from you, Michelle. But you have to have the like you just say you're monetized, but you don't have your 4,000 hours. They don't demonetize you. You just don't get paid. Once you're monetized, you're monetized. But you got to have 4,000 hours every year to keep that amount. Well, what I have seen, because, when you start sharing other channels with people, it kind of thins out. Like, it's really hard as you grow. This is what people don't realize. You think that 1K is such a great deal, but on the flip side, as you grow to 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, that's more channels that you're trying to keep up with to watch. And you know how hard that is? I can't possibly watch as many channels as following me. I can't do it. There's not enough hours in the day. So, what I have seen is some people would be, okay, so I followed this person from the beginning and now they're at 20,000. They don't need my views anymore. Well, yeah, they do. If you help them grow to get that big, they still need your views. And I've seen a lot of the smaller YouTuber people just stop watching because that channel's grown far enough. Well, you're hurting that channel by not doing that. So, it's hard. It's not easy to grind on here, but I don't want people to pimp me out. I don't want people to come here just because somebody else follows me. I want people to come here because they like hanging out with us on the stream, not because anybody told you to come here. I don't want those kind of followers because that's not a true follower to me. I follow people because I like their content, because I want to hang out with that person. It has nothing to do with, oh, this person from this clique follows you or that person from that clique follows you. I'm not doing it. I refuse to be that type of person. I didn't like cliques in high school. I sure the heck don't like them on YouTube. I just find that that's narrow-minded people. Like, have you ever went into a live stream and they would have all their friends up on the panel and they wouldn't even acknowledge you in text? Those are the ones that piss me off the worst. And yes, I'll say it. I can't stand a stream that does that. Because to me, that is a cliquish, snobbish stream where they're not paying attention to their texters. And I have learned, I ran a Yahoo chat room for 6 years, and I'm not talking just from my opinion. I'm talking about feedback that I used to get, is that people don't like it. When you're down there and you're fighting spell check and you're trying to type in a chat room and or you got arthritis and it hurts you to type all the time, those people are more important than people that can just sit up on a talk button and talk back and forth. Just like on a live stream, when you have a panel and you're up there talking, when you ignore your texters, you hurt your channel, because your channel texters are the most important people to me in a stream than the people on your panel, because they're the ones taking the time through cramps and everything and fighting spell check to get their visions out there and what they have to say. So, and I got feedback from people who used to chat and they would say to me, I was in 5 different chat rooms today, didn't even get a hello out of you. A hello out of people. And I come into your chat room and we have like everybody saying hello to me up the screen. That, like, there's a guy that's on my Facebook that'll tell you he was from Tennessee. And he's still friends with me to this day from Yahoo chat, because of the same reason. He said, you will always have my loyalty as a friend because you were the most welcoming chat room I had ever been in. And that's the kind of chat room I like, where people feel welcome. That's the kind of stream that I like, is where people feel welcome. Yes. And another thing is, if somebody's doing a giveaway, I totally get when someone says, hold the stream because we're reading numbers or whatever you're putting in the live sale when you're doing a giveaway. Hold the stream until we get through it and don't chat until we're done, because yes, the numbers could disappear. But I can't stand when you're in a stream that tells you you can't talk at all and text at all during a sale. That just drives me crazy, because I'm going to text and have a conversation. And if you don't like it, then I won't be back to your sale. That's my philosophy, because I want to feel welcome. Yep, exactly, Mary. So I tell people all the time, I like hearing people from my people who come down in my comment section and say hi and stuff like that. That's very true, college. There will never be a shortage of videos. I remember when I started on here, they didn't even have live streams. Like, all they had was, just videos. And when they started bringing the live streams out, I thought it was cool because I felt like I was back in a chat room again. Yes, that too, May. I don't believe in that either. I think whether you're buying from somebody or not, they should still make you feel welcome. Well, girly girl Michelle, I can bring up a really good, interesting topic on that one. Okay. When they get bent out of shape when others are having sales with their sales is ridiculous. I'm sorry, but I beg to differ on that. I will get pissed off because there's two reasons that I will. Okay. If it is someone, okay, when I do the people that I know, okay, these are just the people I'm subscribed to today. I have a schedule that I keep beside me on a calendar of who's having a sale when so that I can participate. So I knew every day of the week when something happens. Okay. But you have to realize that there's more types of people in the crafting community, and we're talking backstabbing bitches. And I'm going to say it because they are. And there was a person a while back I did have a conflict video against because she was a total ass to me, and she deserved it because she came at me first. Were having a discussion that was not even on YouTube. It was through my Etsy store messages. And I modded for her channel. Okay. I'm going to give you a good example of why I get pissed off when people have a sale the same night as me. And I have good reason to. Because when you mod for someone's stream, the person that is modding for you, you usually know their business before anybody else because you trust them to mod on your stream in the first place. Okay. So I had a conversation with someone that was going on through my Etsy store, had nothing to do with YouTube, and she turned around and decided to be a little bitch and come over here and make a very nasty video about me, not telling my side of what happened. Because, like, there is two sides to every story. And I saw the people in her comment section running their mouth about me, and a lot of them people didn't even know me. This is what I don't like about YouTube and their hatred, the people that hate on here, because you should hear both sides and then make a decision down the middle. So I came back at her with the video, and I will do that because I believe in standing my ground. But I have seen this particular person do it to other people. Okay, this person specifically had a night of the week that they did sales. They never, ever left that night of the week. Now, what they started doing when they got into the community of crafters, they decided to do these random pop-up sales. Okay, now this is what happened, though, so you understand my side of the story. They were doing random pop-up sales as soon as they knew you were having a sale. Now, tell me that's not manipulative. Well, I caught on to it, okay? They not only did this to me, but they did it to a couple other people. And I remember somebody I was friends with at the time that was getting ready to have a sale. She did a pop-up right in the middle, and this is what she would do because we all followed the same people. It's not that it was cliquish, but it was like the same people who were out buying the same things. This is what she did. She stood in her video and she kept saying, oh, well, I got to go in like 5 minutes because so-and-so is having a sale. And she kept talking. 10 minutes later, she still had not shut up because she was manipulating that other person's sale. So then that person put in their title, never mind not having a sale, because she was keeping all their attention on purpose so they would not go to her sale. That is manipulation within the crafting community that does happen. So I decided to pick a night of the week. Okay, now I'm not saying these are people you're already following. I'm not saying new people because you have no clue what their schedules are if you're not following someone yet. So I had a sale and there was someone who I was going to their sales that I was already following, already established with, already knew what time. And as soon as I posted my link in some Facebook groups, boom, they were having pop-up sales on my nights. You got to pay attention, people, because there are not always nice people in the crafting community. So, because my philosophy is I'm a buyer before a seller. When I go into, I don't care if it's Maddie sales, May sale, whoever sells, I want to be there from beginning to end because I'm a nibby ass. I want to know what you're selling the whole damn time you're selling it because I don't want to miss something good that I could put a me in on. So I'm not going to come to a sale if I can't be there the whole time. I don't like missing and having to go back and watch. Now, there's times I might have slept in and I might have had to do it, but this is just me as a buyer. I'm a consumer first. But okay, say like I have a whole thing out and somebody has a sale on Monday night. I do have it written down to be at that sale because that's me. That's how I show support. That's how I am. That's how I show support. That's what I believe support is. Like, for instance, when we have our community yard sale here, it's irritating because we're all doing it at the same time in the community. That's why me and my daughter took off last year so we could go nib at what everybody else had, because when you're having it at the same time, you can't go see what everybody else has. Well, I'm a nib nose. I want to know what you're selling because everybody brings something different to the table. But it's just sad that you do have these manipulators and people don't see it. That's the point I'm getting at. If they're not somebody that you're following, of course you wouldn't know when they're having a sale. But if they are somebody you're following and when you have the sale, what do you do as a supporter? You go, well, I can do about 2 at the same time. Other than that, I tried 4. I had 4 browsers up for 4 different sales one time. I just can't do it. I can't. I got a migraine so bad listening to these 4 sellers. I can't. The most I can do is 2. So sometimes you do have to make choices if there are people who, do decide to do it. But if these people are just having random pop-up sales when they know somebody else is having a sale, it's manipulative. It is. I've seen people do it honestly, and I've seen people manipulate. So, yeah. And that's true. And the more people I follow, Mary, the more I'm seeing that they're, oh gosh, here's another seller. And yeah, it does conflict. But I also know that if you're out supporting people and if someone's supporting you, they wouldn't be having a random pop-up sale when they know you're having your sale. It's different if they have it established before. Like, say I follow somebody and they did something like the same night every night. But the thing that I don't like is when somebody has a Facebook group and they say, oh, well, you can post your sale, but then they turn around and say, but not if it conflicts with something I'm doing the same night. Well, what if that person's going live more than you? If a person's going live 7 nights a week, that's really kind of hard to post a sale if you know what I mean? And they're not even selling. I don't know. All I know is I try to pick a night. The people that I follow, I do look to see when they're having sales. I try to pick a night that they're not having one. If it's somebody I'm not following that has a sale the same night, then I can't do anything about it. But I do try to work around everybody else, is the point I'm trying to make. But I also see manipulative people too. So it is what it is. You're going to have drama in every community. You can't avoid it. No matter how much you want to avoid it, drama is a part of life, or would it be a word in our vocabulary? I just deal with it as it comes. You know what I mean? The best I can. I just know that I have decided I can only do my sales when my husband can help me when he's off because he likes to help sometimes. And my next sale he will be helping with. And if somebody's having a sale that same night, I can't help it because I'm doing it around his schedule. I got to worry about my channel. And I think that's where a lot of people get in conflict too, is they think that YouTube revolves around them, and that's not true either. You know, we all have a channel that do have channels that are creating content, using it for hobbies or whatever. Um, you would like to see your friends support you, but I'm just saying it's you know, we all have a channel that the people who are creating content, we all have a channel. We have to take care of our channels first. But that doesn't mean that we have to be mean to other people in doing so. That's my philosophy on it. So I just decided that I'm going to do my sale. I don't care who's having a sale the same night. I'm just going to do my sale. And if one person shows, one person shows. I can't rely on, you know, somebody that has more people show up in their sales than mine. I can't do it. I can't rely on that. That's why I don't like clicks, because if you get into a click, then people have a hard time choosing where they want to be. Yep. So I made up my mind. That's just how I'm going to do it. I'm not doing it anymore for anybody but myself when it comes to my sales, because I have to worry about my husband and his schedule. So I had certain days of the week that I was doing it on Tuesdays, and I changed it. It was the second Tuesday every month I used to have a sale, but then it got to a point where I was having a hard time finding more of a variety, because when I have a sale, I like having a variety. And I just couldn't anymore. So I'm doing random sales because I've been hitting estate sales and stuff like that. And I'll just do random because I know the crafting community, especially when COVID hit, and not COVID, there are some people who don't like leaving their homes because they're bedridden, or they just want to craft that way. And they're looking for kind of like yard sale prices online. But I do disagree with a couple channels. Okay, there's 2 channels, and I am going to bring this up. So if you said this, don't take offense to it because it's not where it started. But there was one channel I used to buy off of that complained, for instance, that they could buy a box of cards, you know, playing cards, and sell them for like $2 or $3 or whatever. And there was another channel that I started buying from who were selling the cards for $1. And the other one that was selling them by the whole decks was making fun of the person selling them for $1. I'm not getting rich off of cards and blah, blah, blah. I said, listen, go look at eBay. There is a thing called a card swap, just like napkins. Okay. It is nothing to do with getting rich off of cards. It is nothing to do with getting rich off of napkins. I don't want a whole deck of cards, and I don't want a whole package of napkins. I like that the channels sell cards for $1 or for $1 in napkins, because I'm not going to use more than that. If I wanted the whole set of a deck to use in crafting, I'm not going to use it because I don't use a whole deck. There's 52 cards in a deck. I'm not going to use them in my journals. So I do like that the crafters sell them for $1. It's not about getting a whole deck of cards for a cheap price. It's about people doing card swaps. But there's some people that don't like it, and there's some people that do like it. My philosophy is go to a person's sale. If you don't like what they're doing or you don't like their prices, then just don't buy from them anymore. If you don't like their shipping methods, just don't buy from them anymore. I was even on a stream one night where somebody said, Well, your shipping is more than your product, so I'll hang on to it until, your products equal out more than your shipping. I'm sorry, but I don't like that either. Just because that person does it, that's on their channel, but that's not how I do it. If your shipping is more than your products, I don't know what to tell you because I can't do anything about shipping. And I've also been with a seller who never sizes to what you buy. There's a seller out there that only does priority boxes. She will not go up and down to accommodate you as the buyer. I don't like that either. Do I like the seller? Yes, I do. Do I like her method? No. I'm not going to force people to fill. Okay, say for instance, you bought $80 from my sale and it didn't fill your priority box, but $80 is all you had to spend. $80 is all you want. I'm not going to say you have to spend more than $80 to fill that damn box. You know how greedy that is? That's how I see it. But then the seller might not look at that way. They might look at as, okay, so I do priority because it's easier for me to do shipping. Okay, because we have to realize we all think differently too. That seller might think, well, I don't want that person. I feel bad that person's paying for that extra air in that box. She might have been thinking totally something I wasn't. And she might have just say, I would rather her get her money's worth out of this priority box. And she wasn't even being greedy about me spending more than $80. You know what I'm saying? It's the way we see things is not always the way others see it. So I've had to rethink certain things too, because we all make mistakes. I mean, hell, I do it all the time. So I have to bring up certain things to people, talk to him about it, and then decide where the truth lies, because she might not even have been thinking that. But to me, I was thinking, man, that's greedy. I just bought $80 and you're wanting me to buy more because my box isn't filled. But I might have been wrong on how she was seeing it. You know what I mean? Because we don't all see things the same. I do it all the time. My husband will say something to me. Think even about your relationships or with your kids, or you may see something a total different way. Like my granddaughter came out one day. My daughter looked at her and she says, "Shh, you're being too loud. Your sister's trying to sleep." And my granddaughter was so smart. She says, "But Mom, there's 2 walls built between the room. How could she possibly hear me?" Think about that for a second. What child comes up with that kind of a comeback? Except for my one granddaughter. She does it all the time. And my daughter has to be very creative with her because her mind just thinks things differently than we do. So I've had to take that into consideration before I judge someone or think that, is that person really thinking that way? Maybe she wasn't being greedy. Maybe she just thought, that priority box wasn't full and she felt bad, because I don't want people to pay for air either when they buy off of me. But I don't always use priority boxes. I got different size bags, but some people don't want to take that time to do it. But then again, I don't do pirate shipping. I don't do none of that stuff. I put mine in my Etsy as a special order and do it that way. So whenever you're buying off of somebody, it's a lot of work as a seller too. Personally, when I sell, I have my own scales that sits right beside me. I will flatten your stuff as flat as I could get it. I put it on my scales. I weigh it, measure it, and add everything into my Etsy. Etsy, you get a cheaper price than going to the post office because they get a discount because they use the post office. I'll put like special order for May if she orders, and you go into my Etsy and you do everything because it does it for you like Amazon. I cannot do what some of these PayPal people do, where they have to take their orders all to the post office and figure it out, or they use, I don't do that, or use priority boxes, because I have seen priority benefit and I've seen it not benefit. I had a box one time. It was an Ulta size brown box that was the same size as one of the priorities. And to send it, you definitely don't want to use them going out of the country. There was a difference of $78 the priority box cost in shipping that dropped to $35 when I came home and put it into a brown box. Now, shipping within the United States, you probably would have a better save, but definitely not out of the country. So until you do comparison prices as a seller, which does take time because you have to go to your post office and you have to do, and plus your post office always gives you a headache too, because they don't want to do your shipping for you. At least mine doesn't. So it's a lot of work. You know, when you're a seller and you're trying to, and I have to climb steps a lot. So it is a lot of work to be a seller. And so, you know, I know that there's people that get mad at some of the sellers that have a restocking fee. Okay, there's two different channels that I shop from that do something completely different from each other. Because you have to understand, as bigger as your channel gets, you get a lot of trolls. And I follow a big channel called Locker Nuts. And what they do is they auction lockers. And this is another thing I've learned. In order to buy on their channel in the first place, you have to be a registered member, which is $1 a month. They will not sell to you unless you're registered, because registering proves you're not a troll and you're going to leave them stuck with money. They figure if you're going to register, you're going to pay. The restocking fee that some of these channels have is the same reason. These people can come in, and I've been stuck. People stuck me with orders too. I don't have a restocking fee. I'm like, whatever. I just block them and they can never buy from me again. But when you get bigger, your trolls get worse. So you have to have a way, and the restocking fee, I think, is a way that some of these sellers will say, okay, it's a guarantee you're going to pay for your order. Now, if something comes up, you know, I pay 20 cents to put your special order automatically on my Etsy. If you do not want your order, I would prefer a person tell me before it's posted. But if they don't, I can just edit. I can edit that order for someone else and do it. And I've had people approach me because when you post on Etsy, it lasts for 5 months. And I've had people say, you know, I only get my payment at a certain time of the month. Can you wait? Yes, I can. You have to also be flexible as a seller. Locker Nuts, they don't give you that flexibility. You pay that day at that auction as soon as it's over, or you're no longer a part of their community. They do not have to be flexible. A seller doesn't have to be, but some choose to be. But I'll tell you, they won't put up with it. As soon as they have an auction, you have to pay. So every seller is different, and you just have to respect what they want to do. And if you don't, then just don't shop with them. That's just my philosophy on the whole thing, because I have not met two sellers that do exactly the same things. We all do something different. But if you come to me and say, you know, if there's something that comes up and you can't afford something, I will work with you too. But even as a single mother, when I was younger, I would never shop unless I had the money, period. Because I wouldn't want an embarrassment to come up and say, I can't pay for this order. You shouldn't be shopping if you can't afford it. But I do know that sometimes a person does shop and things happen. You know, emergency situations do come up, and you should be able to talk to the seller. I will never ask my mods to do my work for me. If a person has a problem with my sale, or if they buy something out of my Etsy and say they get an envelope, I've seen this happen too. Contents were falling out. Someone ordered out of another stream, and all they got was the addressed envelope, and there was nothing in it. It got a rip. Even though my Etsy does not say I will pay 100% back, even shipping, just because I got lazy and didn't finish filling out my Etsy, I would stand by that. If your shipment gets lost in the mail, Here, what they do where I live, they take a picture of your house when they drop off packages because so many things were coming up messed up. They make sure you get your stuff now. Now, sometimes my stuff will still end up the road, but my neighbor brings it to me. But they knew it went to the wrong house when I showed up at the post office, because it does happen. Because, hey, even the post office is not perfect. My cousin lives in Texas. He showed video footage of Christmas one year. Seriously, this is the things that we all have to deal with. He had video footage of 2 guys that robbed his Christmas right off his porch, gifts for his kids. And the guy was jumping up and down in the air like, oh, score. Like it was the best thing in the world to steal off of a family. So they have to deal with that too. It was awful. I was glad my cousin caught footage of it though. He was furious that somebody stole right off his porch, because that can happen too. Because once your tracking number, once that's set on your porch, they're not reliable to pay for anything. Once that tracking number is done and that package is delivered, you can't get that money back if somebody steals it off your porch unless you have proof. I've seen it all. Trust me, I've seen it all when it comes to different things that can happen. But as far as, anybody ever having a problem with any products you get off me, I hope people will stand up and say, hey, this happened, that happened, and we'll work through it. Don't ever keep nothing from me if something happens. Sometimes when I dye my paper, people buy dyed papers off of me. Hey, if something happens when those papers get ripped, I hope you tell me, because I would send you another sheet that wasn't. I want to know when things happen. So whatever you do out there when you're shopping from a seller, if you can't get the respect from a seller as a consumer too back, that's another problem. Because you should be able to talk to every single seller. A company will do it. I can't tell you how many times I've had to contact Amazon, Crocodile, for instance. I ordered a Crocodile off of them. It's an automatic system that says, we got it. It's on its way. Guess what? It never left. I even got a confirmation mail saying it was delivered. And I'm like, it was not. So I called Amazon. I'm like, what is going on? Like, I got the emails that this happened, it was delivered. It never got here. And I was home watching the mail. And sure enough, Amazon backtracked. It was never delivered. It never left in the first place. It was an automated system that did that whole thing. So what they did was they had to reimburse me the entire amount with shipping. And then I had to reorder it off of another merchant, because Amazon has a bunch of different merchants. So I don't know what happened with that merchant, but it didn't work. But you got to immediately take care of stuff. That's why it's important to get tracking numbers and things like that, because you want to watch that so that you can jump on it as soon as it happens. I watch for all my mail. And the one thing that I do love about PayPal, I've even seen sellers put PayPal down. I like PayPal because PayPal actually disputes if a business doesn't deliver something or if they have a bad reputation. I had an email here recently. I think it was a t-shirt I ordered, and PayPal popped up with an email asking me if it ever got delivered. And I was like, yes. So in the past, it could have been, a discrepancy with that particular business. I've never had that on PayPal, but I confirmed it. And once I did, it was okay. So they are there to help you dispute if something happens. And some of these sellers use other methods that don't do that. So I like certain things I don't like. It's just pros and cons. I'm just saying, know your seller, know how much you can trust that seller, and feel comfortable where you can talk to them if something happens. Because if you can't, then there will be issues. Because you should be able to talk about stuff. But I do understand what it's like to be a single mother. I do understand what it's like to have a certain income coming through, but I also know the seller side. I'm a consumer and a seller, and I also know that the sellers have to protect themselves too, because you can't have people ordering off of you and canceling all the time either. I have a person I could blackball right now. She's blocked from my channel. I have not said her name, but I have emailed people to let them know. Yes, she bought an order off of me once and she paid for it. Then she didn't pay for the second order. There were emails set between me and her, and I do have them as proof, where I have asked her, if you cannot pay, please let me know. Just do not leave me dangling. She answered back she was going to pay for it on so-and-so of a night, which never happened. Then she turns around and she tells me the email was in her spam. I'm like, well, how can I be in your email spam if you just answered me? Then that person turns around and I go to get an email, her Facebook address for someone else. She had me blocked. Why was I blocked? You didn't pay your bill to me, but you blocked me. How does that make sense? And she also met another YouTuber that sold on my channel, went to her channel, put in a big order, and poof, canceled. No reason whatsoever. And it really ticks you off when you see them in other streams saying me on these orders, knowing that they stuck you with something. But every seller has to find out for themselves. I try to give a warning, and I've seen that person pay before, don't get me wrong. She doesn't stick everybody, but she's been doing it to more and more people. Yep. That's what I say too, Michelle. I blocked her from the channel, but she blocked me before I blocked her, and I didn't even. It's like, whatever. And I had 2 people cancel on me. One fought with me over $1, $1. And another person, because her shipping was higher than her order. And I go, okay, so I kept my payments down on what I was selling, and you don't want to pay for it because your shipping's higher. I can't control the shipping. So what am I supposed to do? Up your products past your shippings? Does that make you feel better? And she got pissed off at my comment, and she's never bought from me since. Well, what am I supposed to do? I can't change shipping rules. So that's what else can I do? Up your sale to be higher? I don't have a choice in that matter. It is funny as a seller what you deal with too. It really is. I was in a Facebook group. There was a girl that did that in there too. They had swaps. One thing I loved about this Facebook group though, okay, they had a bunch of moderators. So if a swap went wrong, one of the other moderators would step in and make sure that swap got delivered to the other person. But they had a girl that was going around in different streams, like different Facebook groups. She kept joining for the swaps. She was getting products that wouldn't send nothing. So they blackballed her. And some people in the group, and I'm sorry, there are people who are enablers. They got mad because they announced the name of this person. They're like, I can't believe that you put their name on a blackball list. I'm like, what do you expect that group to do? They're trying to let other groups be warned that this person's only out to get as many craft supplies as they can without returning the favor. A swap is a swap. It means it goes both ways. I would blackball her name too if I was them. Because sometimes you have to stand up or what are you going to do? Just let them keep getting away with it? And she got blocked out of a bunch of different face groups for doing that. You can't do that. You're hurting someone else. But the group to me was great because they stepped up and made sure the girl that did the swap with her got something back. Facebook groups don't have to do that, but they did do that because they felt she deserved it, which I would too. If it was my group, I would feel she deserved her swap back. I wouldn't just tell somebody, well, you're crap out of luck. So, you're always going to have good and evil anywhere you go, and the net's no different. There's always going to be that one butthole that tries to ruin it for the rest of us. So, I mean, to me, you just got to do what you got to do. You learn as you go. As a seller and a buyer, you learn for yourself. It's rough out here, people. It's not always easy. Hey, Bevy. But all I know is I try to do the best I can. That's all you can do is just do the best you can, be the best you can be, and learn from it, and just try to make things as good as you can. But don't be shocked when this stuff happens, because it does. My shock values was over years ago. Nothing surprises me. But I try to I talk about something, that bugs me, and then I just let it roll off. But I do think it's good that, people do try to talk things out. We're not always going to get along with everybody. It's not always going to be peachy keen. Just got to do the best we can, I mean, heck, I don't even get along with everybody in my family, let alone strangers. I just do the best I can. Oh, you're welcome anytime, Mary. Thanks for coming in. If anybody ever wants to talk about stuff, hey, when you have your live stream, you let me know and we'll talk about it. But anyway, the person that I made mad at me, because of what she did through Etsy, she ended up deleting her video against me. So then I deleted mine because I felt that was only fair. But did she ever apologized for what she did? No, but she was in the wrong. And sometimes I'll act rash on something and then I'll think about it. And I apologize for things that I've been in the wrong for too before. Because to me, the best policy is to just be the best you can be. And if you're wrong, you apologize, move on. I don't always get apologies in return for things that people do to me either. And I don't expect them. But I do. My mother and dad taught me to apologize for things that I do wrong. And if I break something, I had to use my own money to pay for it, even if it was my allowance. So I feel like I was raised in the right way, but not everybody is, unfortunately. And another thing you got to watch out in the crafting community too, I learned, is when you're first starting and you get to know certain people and they say, oh, don't like her because this person's fake or this person's this, or find out for yourself. You can always listen to anybody's opinion, but please find out for yourself. I listen and it goes in one ear out the other, and I find out on my own. Yep. And that's true too. Some are shady, but I got warned by a couple people that I didn't even know. Never even been to their stream yet. Some people would tell me, don't like that person. She's fake and blah, 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 blah. Well, I found out for myself. I would rather find out for myself. And I suggest you all do the same. Never take somebody else's opinion. And another thing, okay, this is a good example I'll give you that something happened to me. Okay, when I was on Yahoo, I met a Canadian lady and me and her became friends. Okay, well, because we hung out in the chat room, she got on my Facebook page. This is a real good example right here, what I'm trying to say. She started adding everybody on my Facebook page and she had no clue who they were. I mean, we're talking like my Facebook is my web friends, my family friends, people I went to high school with. I get a whole melting pot. She's going down my list, adding all these people, never having had a conversation with them, having no clue who they were because they were my friends. She added them. And I'm like, wait a minute. People were sending me messages. Who is this person? Because some people don't want you to add them just because you know someone. This is why I always say, watch the content, talk to people, then add them to the Facebook if you get that comfortable. But don't do it just because somebody else does or they have a list. Like if you go to my community page, for instance, and you hit just on YouTube and you hit, you know, who my community is, because I don't hide my subscribers. So if you go into my community and then you look at channels, you'll see all the people that I'm subscribed to. Don't go down that list and just start adding my friends. Go in and talk to people that I have on my list. And then if you get to know them and they get to know you and you add each other, that to me is true networking. Is you get to know them yourself and then add them. But she was freaking people out. I can't tell you how many messages I had over that. And I'm like, hey, listen, she's just a person I met in Yahoo. She's okay. But still, they had no clue who she was. So that's another good example. It was creepy, May. Especially when I'm like, don't do that. Like I had a talk with her. I said, you have to understand these people. They're my friends. I think she thought they were all from the web. And I'm like, no, I said, these are all, because some people will do that. They'll have like a separate account for people for their business and a separate account. I don't do that. I mix everybody together, period. And I said, no, they're not all chatters. And she was like, oh, I didn't know. And she apologized and everything, but it was no thing. But I was like, it's just these people were freaking out because they didn't know who you were. But I mean, always find out. You know, if somebody comes to me and they ask my advice and they'll say, is there any crafting people that's done you wrong? Oh, I'll tell you who they were and I'll tell you what they did. But I'm not telling you not to follow them. Because just because they personally did something to me doesn't mean they will do it to you. You know what I mean? The only people that I have blocked are people that have done something to me personally. But I would never tell people who to follow and who not to follow. I just give my opinion, but only when asked. Because I expect you to find out for yourself. You know, if that person will do the same thing to you, I have no clue. But when it comes to you know, someone who's doing a swap or something or somebody not paying, I will let a person know. And then they can do with that information what they want to. I'll tell them in private and let you know that if, you know, a person stuck me with an order, they might not do it to you. They might do it to you. But this person did it to 3 people that I know of. And then just go from there. And hopefully, I hope they don't do it to other people. Because it's not fun when you're stuck with an order, especially if it's a person counting on it. Now, to me, that's not my living. YouTube is not my living. My husband makes our living. YouTube to me is a hobby. So if a person, you know, I might not take it as hard as a person who's counting on the money because it's their living. than somebody who counts the money as a hobby. Because there are some people on YouTube, this is all they have. So I can understand why they get upset. But to me, this is not my main source of income. So, as a matter of fact, most of the time, the money that I make at my live sales on here, I don't ever get to spend it for myself. It goes back into buying more stuff at estate sales. I use part of it for my back to school giveaway that I like doing on my channel. I have reasons. I don't even shop with the money I make off of my sales. I think I did help my husband pay a couple of bills. And when he got hurt, I helped him then. But most of the time, it just rolls back into another sale. I'm terrible at making a bunch of money off of YouTube sales. My husband will tell you, he's like, she borrows money off of me to go buy stuff at estate sales. And he says, I never see that money returned. He says, she just keeps on spending it. No, I couldn't either. I couldn't either, May. But then again, I don't think I've ever sold $800 in one night on here. I think the most I ever made at one of my sales on here, and that was a really good night with a lot of variety, it was like $500. That's the most I've ever made in one of my sales. My sales usually range, I don't know, between like 160, 200. I don't make a lot with my sales. But then you have to realize I'm not a vendor. Like, I don't go and buy Stamperia and all that stuff. I don't have like that kind of stuff. The stuff that I sell on my channels more because I thrift shopped. You know what I mean? Like, I try to keep my prices down because I'm not selling brand new stuff a lot of the times. Like, you know what I mean? I don't know how to explain it. Like, I've sold old books. I've got estate sales, or not saying my fabric's used or anything, but I got them at a decent price. I've never went to Joann's and bought stuff and then sold it here. Like, I'm not store shopping and then selling here. I'm out yard sailing or estate sailing and selling here. There's a difference. I can't wait for my next sale, though. I'm working on it. What I'm trying to do is, it'll have to be on a Saturday because it's the only day that my husband has off, and he's going to mod for me, which is going to be fun, especially when we pick on each other. It's really fun. But I'm trying to get my bathroom cleaned out. That's why I've been doing books, so that I can get them moved over. I can see my floor. I'm so excited. But I need to sweep the floor and then mop it up. And then I want to get everything ready for the next sale. And I gave one hint. It's a quilter's estate sale. And I got some really cute stuff. But I try to do a variety when I do my sales. I want a variety. Like, I don't want to do just fabric or just books. I like having something different to show. Not saying that just fabric and that in one sale is a bad thing, because sometimes I sit in on those sales. I'm just saying, when I do mine, I like having a variety. I can't wait. I'm excited. I wish I knew a little more about the lady, though. I'm going to try to contact someone and find out a little bit more about her, because I like having a story to go along with the estate. I'll tell you what I really like. Did any of you watch Paper and Moose? Oh my word. I'll put the link in. Hold on. I love her channel. She did this one that just blew me away. This would be a once in a lifetime. Heck, she had me excited watching it. Let me find the video. If you get a chance, watch this video. Not right now. Wait till the stream's over. But if you get a chance, watch this video and tell me how, on my next live, whoever comes in and visits, I want to know how you feel about this. We'll have this as part of the discussion. This was so exciting. Oh my goodness. I can only imagine how she felt. But save that link, go watch that video and tell me what you think. Because I was really, oh my gosh, just my mouth was like hanging open the whole time. If only, I would be so excited. I would be ecstatic. But that's one of my favorite channels to watch. I like her channel. She's such a sweetheart to watch. And, you know, I wish I had the energy like she does to take people on estate sales. And she has a steady hand. That's all I can say at times. I can't do it. I cannot film out of my house. You guys would be so seasick. It'd be terrible. I can't hold my hand that steady. I love it when people go out and they're looking around in flea markets and different things and they find good stuff. My favorite Dollar Tree hauler, I love Jennifer Moen. She's got the best videos. I remember one time she showed those butterflies. It took a year, over a year and a half for them to hit our Dollar Tree. Yes, she did. She did college. She quit her job for YouTube. She took a big leap. I love her channel, though. I bought an item out of her Etsy store before, too. And I'm a big supporter of Etsy stores. I like browsing them, nibbing at them, seeing what goodies people find. But that video was the best. But I love her videos. That's what I mean. When people sit and say that once a person grows so high, they don't want to watch their videos anymore. Why? That's just crazy. So he said to me, it's not about numbers. Just because a person has 1 million people doesn't mean that they have 1 million watch hours, you know? I'll tell you another person I like watching too is I love B Loves Life. Oh my goodness. She cracks me up. Her comment section, some of her people are horrible in her comment section, but she's a mukbanger. If you can't stand watching people eat with their mouth open, you wouldn't like her because she smacks her lips. But B Love, I like her channel. There's something about her personality. Somebody suggested her to me, and I watched, and I thought, you know, she is funny. And her husband, I follow his channel, and her 2 sons have channels too. She's at 2.97 million subscribers, and I love her channel. She is funny. She really is. I don't mind watching her eat and talk. I think it's awesome. To me, I feel like there's a lot of people out there that's alone and they live on their own and they work and they don't have time to date and stuff. I've ran into a lot of these types of people. And if you're home alone and you just want to have somebody to eat with and laugh, oh my goodness, I just think she's funny. Some people don't like that. You know, the mouth smacking. People eating with their mouth open. We weren't taught to be like that way at our kitchen table either. But there's just something about B-Love I really like. I don't watch a lot of mukbangers, but I like her. So I said my tastes are all over the place. And I like Snoopy Eats too. Me and that man can put some food away. He's like 7 foot tall. He's funny too. Hey, Chris. I follow so many different people from different communities, and I like Fairy Frequency. She reads horoscopes. Or not horoscopes, that's Brenda Land. Fairy Frequency will do a reading for you for free. She's a tarot card reader. I like her too. I follow gaming channels. I like Megan's blog. She lives in South Africa. We actually helped her get out of China. A bunch of us kicked in to get her out of there when the COVID hit. We helped her through Cab 7 and Green Bay Wacky. That's a cool community too. I like Cab 7. There's a lot of, you know, people have different things they like on here, but I like Cab. He talks about some real subjects on here. I'm working on an altered journal for one of my mom's friends. Oh, I think Cab 7 last topic was when people say that a YouTuber dies that hasn't, and they start nasty, hateful rumors. He also has talks. He does a lot of live streaming. So college, if you like a live streamer, he's a good one. He talks a lot about depression, suicide, military. He's got a big following. He's a nice guy, though. He's very nice to talk to. And he'll even, you know, people that have issues like drug issues, drinking issues, if they want to talk to someone in private, he even gives out his email so people can contact him. He is very much a people person when it comes to a lot of issues that's going on in America. I like Cab. I had breakfast with him the other day. Sometimes I come on and I'll just hit right into a channel. And if he was on in the morning and I thought, you know, I'm just going to sit and listen to him talk this morning because I'm having breakfast and he's just my kind of channel to wake up to. It's like I have my different channels for different reasons. Right now, I'm just gluing the pages together for all the pockets and where I rip the pages out. And I will continue to turn this into a journal. I think my last one didn't last very long, but to thoroughly do one of these, it took me 4 weeks to get it done of just live streaming and no editing. I didn't miss any parts. I think the hardest part on this is getting the pieces that you want to put in it and tearing the pages out and gluing the things that once that's together, you just put the pages together. I got the cover done. This was wallpaper I do believe I found at the Dollar Tree. This is the back of it. And what I did was cut it round and then distressed it. And I might put one of my fabric tags on this. Let's see which ones I have here. This. I don't know yet. One of my fabric tags could be my story. It could be recollections. It could be memoir, journal, life, history, or faith. I used my dream one on a different journal. I love these fabric tags. These are just words I found in a thesaurus. I was looking through at their meetings and I thought, I just printed them off and I used my Big Shot to cut out the pieces. And then this fabric was from an estate sale. They were already pre-cut 6x6 squares, I think, to make a quilt of some sort. And I ended up using them for this and ties. I cut them down to make these, and then the rest I made ties for tags. I sold some of those at my live sales too. But I can put a word here, or you can do a bracket. There's all kinds of things you can add to the front. I'm not sure what I'm going to put in the front of this yet. I haven't decided. I make up stuff as I go along. I do find that when I plan, I do better winging it. When I plan it, I tend to be blah, 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 blah. I don't do so great. So tonight I'm hoping just to finish gluing the pockets, and then I will let this dry. And then next Wednesday, the decorating starts. And that will be the fun part. I wish mine was coming home, Michelle. Mine gets home at 3 o'clock in the morning. And if anybody ever wants to privately craft, you can also let me know, because there's a couple people I have private crafted with where we can meet on StreamYard. You just don't go live. And you can do a private crafting. That's fun. That way you can talk and craft at the same time. Let me just go do up and down. This one's going to have lots of pockets. You have a good one, Michelle. Enjoy your hubby. I enjoyed my hubby this weekend. I had fun picking on him too. I can't believe we've been married over 30 years now. Forever. He's my forever hubby. Let's see here. Put this one back this way. The only thing I like to do is go through these and make sure I don't do like the same fold in a row. I do like having different folds. These that way. Ooh, look at that. That looks like an ink smudge. That's kind of cool looking. Okay, and then here, we'll do another side. Then I will mark it. And go through some more. I don't know who all likes to write journals in here, but I sure do. I love to write all my stuff down in my journals. I don't care who reads them. I kind of do a scrapbooking journal when I do mine. I'll do pictures and words and whatever I feel like. I even cut stuff off of cereal boxes. So you'll never know what you'll find in my journals. Another side. Heck yeah. If you had money, you could hide it in this. You could hide letters. You could hide whatever you want. Somebody asked me, because I own a used bookstore, if I ever found money in a book. I thought that was funny. I'm like, no. And then right after that, like a month later, I was emptying a box of books and a quarter fell out. I said, well, I can't say that no more. I found a quarter. The most common things that I find in books, oops, as a used bookstore owner is, believe it or not, people have a tendency of putting pictures of their kids in books as bookmarkers. And I remember this one lady, she dropped off a book to me one time. It was like a big plant book. And there was a whole thing of kids, her child's pictures that weren't cut for school. And thank goodness I got her name. And I was able to call her. I said, your kid's pictures are in this book. And she goes, oh my goodness, I forgot about it. That and not eulogies, but those little things you get, like when you go to a funeral, not the folded ones, like the little books, but like say somebody did like a cross and they have a day a person died and lived and it was like in a cross shape. I see some of those in the books I get and stuff like that, but sometimes you'll get a receipt. I'll have to find it because I think I kept it, but I found a receipt from, I think it was the 1940s, and a person paid like $1.25 for their electric bill or gas bill, and I'm like, really? I wish that was the prices today. It's funny looking back at the prices back then. Me and my husband were laughing watching Little House on the Prairie because I made that comment to him too, where there was an episode where Pa stayed on for an extra so many hours of work and he got paid 25 cents and he was all excited. I told my husband, I said, would you do that for 25 cents? He goes, oh, hell no. But back then it was a lot of money, you know. But it is hysterical looking at the price differences because me and them guys did some major labor for like 25 cents. Price comparisons cracks me up. I think he had a wood burning stove was like $7 in the Olsen store. I'm like, yeah, right. Those cast iron stoves. I was like, oh my goodness. Prices are so funny. That's what's nice about having a journal that's like a glue book or one like pockets with this, because you could take receipts and save them and then look back. Because I remember when we first got married back in the 80s, oh my goodness, I think minimum wage was like $3 and something. I literally have one of those pay stubs. I'm going to have to find it and add it to one of my journals. I think what would be cool is a time capsule journal. You know, an altered one like this, but save stuff in it like a time capsule. So that if you have something old or from your grandparents and your parents, you could stick in the pockets and then compare prices on stuff. That would be so awesome. I would be like, woohoo. It's just, I don't know. Prices are funny. We were talking about housing and rent in another stream I was in. And I said, you know, I can speak from experience on that. Me and my husband's first apartment was $125 a month. It was a 2-bedroom. It was in a duplex, split 4 ways. They took a duplex that was just one, you know, one side and another side, and they made 4 apartments out of it. And it was funny because back in the day when you rented, it was so that you could save up to buy a house. Now, when you look at rent, you can't get out from under it. It's like some places rent higher than house payments. It's crazy looking at rent now. But back when we started, that's what you did. You rented an apartment until you could save for a house, because houses were more expensive to pay for. It's just weird when you look at how times have changed. Some places here where I live, you know, I'm in West Virginia. We're a poor state, people, but we got beautiful country. And it's just like my husband works in Pennsylvania, so just comparing the 2 states. PA is a higher cost of living where he works. So the house that we live here in West Virginia, if you go to PA to try to find this particular type of house, our house was on the market. Well, we got a deal on it because my daughter knew the girl that was selling it. She was her friend. We got this house for $119,000 or $115,000. I don't know. She dropped it. It was on the market for like $125,000. And she dropped it down. I think it was $115,000 maybe. I don't know. But anyways, in house comparisons, we live in a ranch style, 2-car garage, gas, heat. Like, I look for specific things when I was looking for houses. I was in the market for 3 years looking for the perfect house, because I don't make decisions like that quickly. But this style of house in Pennsylvania, you can't touch it for under $300,000. So for us to get it for $119,000 was a good deal. But then we got a first-time home buyers. I love the internet for this reason, to talk to different people about the cost of living is where they're at. Even though we're all in the same country, it's pretty sad. And we got this house on a first-time home buyers because we didn't use that option when we bought our very first home. The very first home we had was only like $25,000. We paid like, I don't know, $200 a month to buy the house. And we rented it, and that became a rental for us to get to this house. This is my final move. I'm not moving after this. I'll stay in this house till I die. When we did our first time home buyers, which is a really good option for people starting out that don't have money saved. You don't have to have, when you do a first time home buyers, you can only do it once. And I believe it's an FHA loan approval here, but you don't have to have like 20% down. Most of the time when you buy a house, you have to have a certain percent of the cost of the house. So we did the first time home buyers, and we only had to have, I think, with the closing cost and everything to close it, it came to like, I think like $1,500, but we have to pay more monthly to make up for not having that down payment. The thing about the percentages is it lowers your monthly payment so that you don't have to pay as high. That's why you want to pay like as much down as you can on a house. My daughter also worked in mortgage and stuff. All right, Chris. So I was sitting and I was listening to Locker Nuts one night, and they were talking about out in California, the first time home buyers out there, and she and Jana and Jack are the couple, and I literally choked on my tea when she came out and said, we were looking at first time home buyers out here in California, and it was like $1.2 million. I was like, what the hell? I'm thinking, oh my God, we only had to pay like $1,500 where I'm at. I cannot imagine coming up with $1.2 million when my husband was complaining about the $1,500 he had to pay. But it's sad. You know, it's sad that some states have such a high cost of living. I don't know how people make it. Me and my husband talk about that all the time. So I was talking to this one guy in the stream, and I'm like, oh my gosh. I said, with that kind of a price and you got to pay your regular bills, I said, my God, I wouldn't even be able to afford a freaking bathroom. I'd have an outhouse. And this guy started laughing. He said, I practically do have an outhouse out here in California. He says, because it's so high, it's ridiculous. And he's literally leaving the state because he can't afford to live there anymore. That's sad. And then I talked to someone else who's never lived in another state to even know that there was a comparison. And makes you wonder sometimes, when people are born in the state, do they think all the states are like that? I hope not. Because I know this one family, they told me they have like 10 cars parked outside their house all the time because that's how many families are practically living together just to make it. And I do see that here too. Like some people that can't afford it, because when the gas and the oils come in here, I seen some people raise their rent to like $1,000 a month. That's a lot here. Like I still have apartments around me, and these are decent apartments. They're not in like lower income housing or anything. They're decent apartments that still run $350 a month to $400 a month. I can't even imagine how people pay $1,000 a month. I think that's awful. Of course, I was born in the thrifty days, but we don't even pay that for a house payment. Like our house payment in this house, even for $119 or $119,000, is only $500 a month. That's like rent, over rent for some people. I think the system is messed up. For people to pay $1,000 a month, I think is just awful. I think it's highway robbery, because how in the heck are you ever supposed to afford a house if you're paying that much rent? You know? To me, I thought $126 was reasonable for rent back when we started. I can't imagine starting out paying these high prices. I just do not know how people do it. But my husband talked about renting again, and I'm like, no, I'll pass. Because we had a friend here not too long ago that was renting the top out of a house, and then all of a sudden the owner of the house said they had to move because their son was coming home and going to live in that space. I would not want to be kicked out and only have so many days to move. Oh my God, I hate moving. I don't even think 30 days is long enough to pack and move. Not with all the stuff I have. Anyway, I'm just rambling. What do you guys think about all that? Rent and all that? You think stuff's high? I think stuff's high. You know, when you think about your kids growing up and going out on their own. Oh, I don't know if other people have any opinions on that subject or not. Then my daughter's husband met this kid at work who their family owns this big place. Like you can be on one side of the house and not even hear the other people. And his parents did nothing but invest. You know, it'd be nice if you knew people that did that. My parents were never investors. But they would take his money from the time he could work and invest a percentage. And he's like in his 30s and he's retired. Tell me that's not crazy. But he never had to pay rent or, well, I'm not saying he doesn't help, but he never had to leave because his parents' place was so big, even though he's married now with kids. He has a wing off of the place his parents live, so he never had to leave. They all stayed in the same place, almost like a villa type place. I thought that's kind of cool. If you could stand living with your parents. But they seem to be okay. They seem to like it, but I didn't know anything about investing. I know people do it, but I never got into it. But his parents were smart to do what they did for him. But for people out there struggling, I always say prayers because I know how rough it can be for some people. And when we took foster care classes, oh my goodness. When a kid turns of age in foster care, they don't get much. And they're set out on their own too. That would be scary. Just be given a little bit of money and here, have fun. Which way do I want to do this? I'll do another up and down one. But wherever you are and the cost of living you have, I feel bad for you. Because I have heard some horror stories about some states and I can't even imagine. But I can say one thing about Texas. My cousin has his daughter in a Girl Scout program there, and it is just like it used to be here back in the day. And those kids do a lot. But when my daughter, we went into Girl Scouts, we camped and did a bunch of stuff. But nowadays, I don't know, it's really hard to find a person that you can go on trips and stuff with. Yay, last page. And I'm going to turn this into a side. Here's the last pocket. And then this will dry. And then we'll decorate. Next week. But there it is. I do got to put a paper clip in this one now because I forgot. There we go. And then this is skinny to take out the pages to make the room. And Wednesday we will start decorating. Yay! Did help to lay my glue sideways though. This bottle's getting kind of empty. And for those of you that have not heard of Undo, they used to have this stuff called Goo Be Gone or something. I don't know. This stuff is amazing. So say for instance, here's a postal mark. I like this stuff specifically for two reasons. If you're a crafter, and I keep bumping my camera. I did it again. Hold on, let me fix it. I keep messing up my camera for some odd reason. There. Say for instance, you're crafting and you mess up where you put a sticker or something, or like me, because I only use bookstore. Those Kmart stickers were huge, the price stickers. I used to hate when they would put stickers on the front of books and cover the face of a person or something on the front of a book. So what this Undo is, and there's also a little powder that comes in a thing that if you have something sticky, there's a powder that you can put over top and it stops the sticky. But this here is incredible. You take your Undo. Say you're a crafter and you stick something somewhere. You like me, you hate stickers on books. You just take this Undo and you drip it over top. And see how wet that is? It's okay. This stuff's amazing. So you leave it sit there for a little bit. Because you got to let it absorb. Put the lid back on. And you're going to use this Hickey-Majigger here. You get your stamp started. Look at this. See this stamp? It was stuck to that. Watch this, because this is postmarked and everything. It picks that sticker right off without any damage. And when this dries, there will be nothing left. Where I guess the Goo Be Gone or something would leave like a citrusy oil. This will have nothing. It has no stainage. It's got like a smell to it, almost like, I don't know, like a paint thinner smell maybe. It does definitely has an odor. But the one thing that's great about it, once this dries, I'd use a little bit too much. It's going to take a little bit. It does dry pretty fast though. See, that went clear through. And on this, and this here needs to dry a little bit more. But this here is almost dry already. And it doesn't kill the stick. So I can take and put it right back where it was. Or move it. And it'll re-stick like you never took it off. Tell me this stuff is not the best. I got this on Marianne's stream. How cool that is. Get it put off. Now it won't kill the sticky. So that's why the powder comes in. If I remove a sticker off of a book, then I'll use that powder to stop the stick, the sticky feeling. But it will take this off to move stuff around. So if you're crafting, you don't need to worry about making mistakes. You put it back and look, there's no citrusy stain like you get with the Goo Be Gone. This stuff is amazing. You can buy it off of sellers on here, which is how I did it, or you can go to the Undo site and buy it directly from them if you want more than one bottle. But Marianne sells this on her channel. I think it's $8.50 a bottle or something like that. Amazing. And I think on the regular site, I can't remember how much they sell it on the Undo site. It's either buy two, get one free. I can't remember if it's $7.50 or $8.50. I don't remember, but she keeps the prices really close and reasonable. I love this stuff. I cannot tell you how many nails I busted trying to clean up my books because I can't stand price stickers on the front of my books. Drives me nuts. And this stuff here removes them. It's just amazing. And you only use a little bit. Like this bottle's going to last me a while. This is amazing. Amazing stuff. And then this here I haven't tried yet. This is Ranger water-based stamp cleaner. Bubblegum scented. Gotta smell it now. Oh my goodness, it is. It does smell like bubblegum. So this here is, if you use your rubber stamps, this is supposed to clean it. I haven't tested this yet. It's acid-free and non-toxic. Was recommended. But this stuff here, love it. So that's it. Time for me to go. I want to thank everybody who showed up tonight. I'll have to come and visit your channels if you got it. And with that, I hope you all have a great time no matter what time zone you're in. And I'm bumping my camera again. Let me get it straight. Me and my camera. It's like right hanging off of an arm right by my knees. I keep bumping it. But anyways, with that being said, whatever time zone you're in, I hope you're having a great one. I'll see you soon. Thanks for the chats, everybody. Bye.